It was dangerous to be in the street, period. It's life and death. You gotta be ready for whatever comes. I'm extorting people on my old building that I lived in. Somebody got stabbed, and then I got caught with the weapon. So when he went to search me, I pushed the police and ran. The feds came and got me. I became Bronx Most Wanted. Picked me up in the Bronx. They came with helicopters and all.
This man, who goes by Pistol Pete, is the most famous Puerto Rican gangster in the history of New York City. Pete grew up in the South Bronx in the 1970s and 80s and significantly contributed to the already insane crime rates of the BX during that era. Pete is from a lost generation. By the time he was 12 years old, he and his buddies were operating shooting galleries for heroin junkies in abandoned buildings throughout the Bronx and got into more shootouts and robberies than he could count. By the time he started going to Rikers Island at 17 years old, he was a known menace. He slashed and assaulted so many inmates that the jail had to set up a special high-security visiting room just for him. He was also uncontrollable upstate, where he instigated prison riots and ran every cell block and jailhouse that they put him on. Pete began a movement throughout the New York prison system called KAR, or Kill All Rats, which is self-explanatory. Then, in the early 2000s, fresh home from state prison, Pete began a multi-million-dollar-a-month extortion ring in the South Bronx, where he and his crew collected money from every major drug dealer in the neighborhood. That's how fearsome his reputation was. At this same time, he began to hang out with rap star Fat Joe and the Terror Squad, who were raised in Pete's neighborhood in the South Bronx and were some of the biggest rap stars in the industry during that era. Everyone loved Pete, except for the feds, of course. Pete eventually caught a racketeering case for all of the extortion he was doing and got sent to Lewisburg, where he finally began to behave himself. When he came home, he got back with the Terror Squad and began full-time work in the music business, creating a successful artist management company. Pete knows everyone in the rap and R&B game. It's wild. These days, he's getting paid to speak in jails and prisons around the country, helping mediate disputes between gangs and advocating for better conditions. He's even sat down with the mayor of New York, Eric Adams. Pete's journey is a testament to the human spirit and the ability of an individual to evolve and grow. Make sure to go check out his podcast, Dog in the Yard, available every week wherever you get your podcasts. And for a bonus episode with Pete, hit that Patreon, patreon.com/TheConnectShow. All right, you guys, you are going to love him as much as we did. I promise you that. A South Bronx Boricua legend, Pistol Pete, right here on The Connect with Johnny Mitchell.
I cut 19 people in Rikers Island. If you disrespect, I'm stabbing you too, I'd kill you. Walton come and say, I'm sorry, Pete. You're going to the hole, buddy. People scared to death of you. He stabbed me by here and I got stabbed in my back. And then that's when I started Kill All Rats. And the feds, they really got me trapped because they punish you mentally. Because when you're in jail, you don't have a voice. You lose your voice the minute you walk in there.
I'm honored to sit down with you, man. You know, because Terror Squad, that would really put the Bronx on in terms of music. I know KRS-One was obviously like the original, but I think there was a massive chunk of time where nobody was really breaking from the Bronx, especially Latin rappers.
Well, that's for sure. As far as Latin rappers, you know, Big Pun was the first guy that went double platinum, Latino rapper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Jordan went platinum as well.
Did you know Pun?
Yeah, of course.
In the streets? Wow. Okay, what part of the Bronx are you from?
Me, I'm from Cypress, 141st Street.
Wow. Okay, and then Joe is from like Tremont Avenue.
No, he's from Forest.
Okay, and that's all part of the South Bronx.
Yes.
What was the wildest part of the South Bronx back in the day? I know it's a tough question.
My neighborhood. I would say my neighborhood, but it was a lot of tough neighborhoods back in the days. You know, it was a lot of tough neighborhoods. It was a lot of people getting killed. There's a lot of similar that's happening now, but with more structure.
Right, more drug money, I assume.
Yeah, oh, big time. I mean, I used to be out, I was one of those that was out there. I didn't really usually sell too much drugs, but, you know, honestly, but I hung out with the guys that sell drugs, so been around it. Yeah. And back in the days, it was like the lines was like mess hall lines. You know, whoever been in jail, you know, what I mean by mess hall line is, you know, like school lines.
Cheese lines.
Yeah, big old lines. I'm talking about like crazy lines. Big old, too unreal. To the point where you have somebody look out in the corner, in the middle, and in the other corner. You gotta look out for, you know, police and...
Yeah. And it's like 12 and 15-year-old kids managing these adults, these drug addicts. It's quite...
I mean, because I was one of those young kids at that time.
Well, your father, you're Puerto Rican? 100%?
Yes.
Wow. Wow, that's a disappearing That's a disappearing ethnicity in New York, I feel like.
Yeah.
The 100% Boricua.
Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. I was born in Puerto Rico.
Okay. Mother and father brought you here?
Brought me here when I was 3, 4.
Okay. And your dad had the weed.
My father was that guy. He was that guy in Puerto Rico, and he was that guy out here. Yeah, he was that guy. He had all the weed.
He had the weed in Puerto Rico too?
Yeah, but out here, he really had the weed.
Wow. Yeah, you were telling me garbage bags in the house.
Yeah, garbage bags full of, there was so many garbage, so much weed. I used to throw some pounds out the window to my friends and sell it and be like, let's go to movies.
Right. It's like you took pounds from him like somebody takes a couple of grams off
It didn't matter. He didn't even notice. It was funny.
Because that must have been like the Mexican.
I graduated. I went from that to taking his car and putting the cones on the parking spot in front of my building and threatening everybody. Yo, listen, if somebody moved that, you already know it's going to be issues. and they leave the cones there. And I used to drive his car, take it while he's sleeping to learn how to drive and come back.
You must have been, what, 13?
Yeah.
That's when people start driving in the Bronx, about 13, 14.
Exactly.
Usually stolens.
Yeah. I was taking his car.
Yeah. Wow. So he must have been getting weed from what, the Jamaicans or the Mexicans?
Man, I don't know. I didn't ask no questions. I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. I just know they was in the house. I was like, oh, this weed. I didn't even know the value of it. Really. I was just a kid.
Right.
Doing dumb.
What kind of value? But it sounds like you guys were eating though, even though you're from the hood. You have money.
We sold it, but it wasn't it. It wasn't like I was that. That's what I sold cocaine. I sold night ride. I sold like that. I did that. I sold, back in the days, that turned into selling crack and the crack era came and all that.
Yeah. So your dad had the pounds, your dad had the weed by the ton in the 70s.
Yeah, that's back in the days, yeah.
But what kind of affluence, like, did that teach you about, the affluence of like structured drug dealing, like later?
Nah, because I've never really been a drug dealer. I never really been a drug dealer. I never really took that. I usually I was more like the manager, the guy that just makes sure that the money is straight and everything is good. And they tell me, yo, he has to give you $100,000 at the end of the night, or like that. Like, it wasn't nothing like where I actually was, okay, these the pounds, these is how many. I'm really been like a street, like a stick-up kid. I've been like,
you were enforcement.
And I went to jail for extorting. I went to the feds for what the mafia go to jail for extorting drug dealers, though.
I see. Okay, so put a pin in that. So, but you were, when it came to drugs, you were management and enforcement, it sounds like.
Yeah, like I was more like the cool with the owners, with the guys. There was them guys. I was just cool, and I freestyle, do what I gotta do. Yo, P, make sure it's good over here, da-da-da. I was that guy. I was the street guy, So you were working in shooting galleries? I also worked in the shooting gallery when I was a young kid, yes.
Wow. How did you get a job in a shooting gallery? And tell us what that is.
I just took, shooting gallery is a bandit building that you just turn into a shooting gallery. You charge $1 at the door to come in and shoot up.
Yup. What year was that?
I was late, I would say, I was young, man. I was a little kid. I was like 11, 12. 13,
Imagine that.
Going out, in and out.
Right.
Getting my mother's problems, stepping out the house, leaving my house for a month. She'll send me to the store, go get some rice. I take off, I'm selling cocaine in the street. My friends stayed in my friend's house, doing all kind of shit. Got kicked out of all the schools I was in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So whoever's running a heroin spot, a shooting gallery just says, hey, I'm going to pay you a little. It's like a summer job. I'm going to pay you to stand at the door and make sure everything's cool.
Well, the shooting gallery was really us amongst me and my guys.
Yeah.
A bunch of young kids. We just took over a building. It was like, yo, let's charge it to shoot up.
Right.
And it worked. Everybody was going there to shoot up.
How many junkies would be up in there?
A whole bunch of them. I didn't count, but it was a bunch of them.
And there was
it was a bunch, we didn't get rich off it, you know what I'm saying? But it was a lot of people shooting up, going in and out.
Yeah.
And they feel comfortable. You gotta hide. You can't just shoot up. Now they shoot up at 3rd Avenue in the Bronx. They stopped it now because they just put a precinct on the same block they all was shooting up at. Crazy in the Bronx. They just changed the 40th precinct, which is the precinct I was raised. That's the precinct that put me away. They got another, they just moved, they just got a brand new precinct. New 40th precinct. And then that block, horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, and there was so much abandoned property in the Bronx back in the day. You could just, kids could go just take a spot over and turn it into money.
What the craziest is that I look at all that and all the stuff that I done in regards to surviving and all that. You know, we come from we was poor. We ain't had no money. You know what I'm saying? My dad did what he did, but he in and out. You know what I'm saying? We, you know, at the end of the day, we was still, it wasn't like we was middle class or anything. We live on Cypress Avenue, it's the slums. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I was just out there just, you know, just trying to survive and, you know.
Dude, what did he think about you, like, running around, wilding at such a young age?
Yeah, no, my dad was one of those, can't say nothing bad about him, man. He never put his hands on me, never hit me. He was just speak to me and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You know,
so you were just immediately taken by the streets.
Yeah, I gotta think for the streets, man. I'm still running around the streets, but just in a legit way, in a good way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into nothing negativity, no bad stuff and not everything, but I still run around. I run around more than my other friends. My other friends that they famous and they rich, they'd be like, well, why are you there in the hood? And I'm like, well, I mean, this guy passed away. I thought I'd come over and show some love. They'd be like, okay, yeah, all right, Pete. You know, like, what you doing in the hood? And I'm like, you know, they don't want me there, but the hood loves me. I'm embraced by the hood. The hood made who, I mean, I don't know. It's something, you know. Yeah. It's just like, it's funny because I ran a shooting gallery and sold also needles to them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They would either want the needle, get the box of needles from the hospitals. They used to,
steal the needles from the hospital?
Yeah, have them steal them, we buy them, you know, and we used to, you know, hey, you go Daniel needles, boom, $3, da-da-da, and they just go shoot up. And we went from that, and now, years, you know, later, decades later, I mean, that was when I was a kid, when I was a baby, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And now I'm having conversations with the mayor of New York talking about, I have a program and a system that I'm creating with the mayor. We gonna partner up on collecting and picking up syringes from the streets.
That's wild, dude. Bro, with Eric Adams?
Yeah.
Wow, he just beat a case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Feds trying to get him.
Yeah.
Man.
You gotta work, gotta be on straight arrow around here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, stages.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's easy to go to jail. It's hard to get out.
Man, that's a fact, bro. You catch a case in New York.
It's hard to get out of jail.
I know. You know.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard.
Damn. So the streets, heroin and drugs and crack and death, and street legends and drug kingpins, like, it's normalized in the Bronx, right? Puerto Ricans, you guys were big heroin dealers back in the 80s and 90s. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. You know, guys like Boy George, guys like...
Shout out to Boy George. That's my guy. That's my brother.
Did you know him?
Of course. Ran around the street with him. I was his guy, too.
Did you hear about, like, he would have, like, straight-up bazookas? Like, he had cats, like, with automatic weapons and, like, rockets. Like, the dudes...
A lot of, you know, sound travels. Sometimes by the time it hits the third person, they change the story, the whole narrative of the story. Now he got bombs on him and all that. I know George, I never seen that with no bombs, no nothing. We used to jump in the car in his Benz, and all I could tell you, he had a James Bond Benz. Yes, I could talk about the fly stashes, the this, the that. All that, yeah, was fly, and you know, and I was his guy. He was the only person at that time and era in those years that used to introduce me as Pistol Pete, and I used to feel weird. I used to go to Cascade. I used to go to upstate in the group home that he was in. He had relationships with everybody. That's my guy. It's so crazy that you mentioned. I don't know if you know that was my boy, but
I didn't know.
You got an official story there. But
yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't even talk about stuff like that. But that one is a good one. George is my brother. You know what I'm saying? Right now we trying to work and getting him out. Mm-hmm. Just that he's in jail. You know, he gets himself in trouble, So it's hard to get somebody that is still continuing to get himself in trouble in jail. Right. So, you know, the government gonna look at that. This guy's a crazy guy. You can't let this guy out.
Yeah.
But they also working on doing his movie. they definitely is on the works for that.
Yeah, wow. I mean, if people should go research him or study him, or I read about him in a book years ago when I was in college. I read this book called Random Family, and it was about a woman that just went and was like documenting what it's like in the South Bronx. It's like a sociology experiment. And she met this woman who began the story. Her name was Jessica. And Jessica was dating this dude named George Rivera. And the way that they went into detail about how this guy ran his operation, normal people can't even believe like how sophisticated these ghetto kids would run. Like,
tell us, the richest kid at 20 years old. He was a millionaire,
multi-million. Like moving like Chinese heroin kilos like every day. Hundreds of thousands of dollars a day were moving through those streets.
It was a lot of money back in the days.
How did you work with him, or we were just cool with him?
Nah, we was my boy. He was just my guy. We'll go, he'll pick me up. He felt secure. He felt comfortable with me around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was a loose cannon. So it was like, I'm with Pete, I'm good.
Today's episode is sponsored by the HOF app. This is for those of you out there that love to fire on sports, daily, weekly, monthly, just like me. You need a little bit of skin in the game. Check it out. This is not just another sports book. This is not just another sports gambling app. This is an analytics app that helps you with your parlays. Check it out. We've all been there before. You're one parlay away, and then a relief pitcher gives up a walk-off bomb in the ninth inning. A heartbreak, right? The HOF app is built to fix that. It was started by two lifelong sports fans who also happen to be Ivy League grads. The HOF app makes parlay research smarter, faster, and data-driven. Does that make sense? This is not your buddy's group chat full of hot takes. It's a full analytics engine. This is like having your own personal Ace Rothstein from Casino. You remember Robert De Niro in that movie? He always picked a winner. This is literally like having him, but in your pocket and backed by the power of AI. The app is built for the everyday sports fan, so it's easy and intuitive to use. You'll get an idea of your parlay's chances to hit and identify weak legs so you can weed them out before you place them. Whether it's the MLB, NBA, NHL, or college sports, the app gives you beautiful charts, clean visuals, and real insight, not hype. So this is information, you guys. Information is gold. It's the most valuable thing. It's what professionals use when they're putting money down on action. Now you can become that professional by using the HOF app. Okay, you've got research and nerds, real geniuses that in real time are putting down all of this different information on your parlays and then feeding it to you so you can make the best decision when you are firing on action. With a 4.9 rating in the App Store and over 6,000 five-star reviews, it's safe to say HOF has already helped a lot of people bet smarter. And maybe the best part, once you've built your parlay, you can send it straight to your sportsbook with one click. No manual entry, no wasted time. The HOF app syncs automatically with most major sportsbooks, like DraftKings and FanDuel, so you can make your parlay in the HOF app, boom, one click, and it will send it straight to whoever you put your money down with. That's an incredible advantage. Think about that. Most people who put action down on sports have no idea what they're doing, right? It's just a gut feeling, or they watch ESPN a lot and they think they know more than the experts. With the HOF app, you have experts helping you make your calls. HOF isn't just about parlays. It's built for player props, game lines, totals, and more, giving you the tools to break down trends, spot value, and make smarter bets across every major market. Check it out. For a limited time, our listeners not only get a 7-day free trial, but they also get 50% off their first month when they use code CONNECT at checkout. Just download the HOF app on iOS or Android, enter code CONNECT, CONNECT, and you're all set. You're off to the races. Guys, don't just fire on action. Don't just throw your money away. Do it smart. Do it professional. Go get the HOF app today and use that promo code.
How'd you get the name Pistol Pete?
It's weird, man, because, a lot of my friends have started, and particularly George. George started the whole Pistol Pete. It was him that was started. He's one of the original guy that really started Pistol Pete. This Pistol Pete right here. This is Pistol Pete. But when it got like out there like a little bit, the police used to with me, man. Police in the neighborhood, they used to get on the speaker and be like, Pistol Pete. And one day, you know, they had them stashes. They had, you know, those stashes where you put like, it look like a can of beans, like it's closed, but then you open it, they used to sell them in the everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and you open them and you put some in it. So guys had the girl, and a few of us had crabs. And then we put the medicine in there, we put it away, and we had the car. They found it. It was like, yeah, Pistol P and his fellas, the guys, they got crabs on the speaker. On the phone, we all bugging. We like, yo, get the Pistol P this, and it was just something like, you know. And then it stuck because I was standing up, like I was really wilding out, you know, getting myself in all kind of, you know, gun charges, Uzi charges. I got caught with, you know, I got caught in a lot of. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of situations that thank God, I was managed to, you know, beat some. And obviously I went to jail. But when I went to jail for something I ain't do, though. You know what I'm saying? I went to jail because I ain't tell. You know
okay, so now we're in the early, mid-'80s. You're already making moves in the street. You're learning how to make money, at least orbiting the drug trade, right? But you never had aspirations to be like a guy like George?
Nah.
Being a kingpin?
Nah.
Why not?
I guess I didn't want that pressure. I didn't want to feel like, you know, like that pressure. I didn't want to feel like I'm cool who I am. You know what I'm saying? I was cool with who I am. I was comfortable. I always been comfortable with on my lane. You know what I'm saying? So that was his lane. That's what he was about. That's what he was good at it, and he was comfortable with it. Cool. Me, I'm actually a scaredy cat when it comes down to drugs. Feel me? Like I'm a type of dude. I'd rather punch you in your face right here on TV than sell you a bag of weed.
Well, you gave me some weed.
No,
so
I'm just saying, you feel me?
Yeah.
Well, that was free.
Yeah.
But you feel what I'm saying though? Like it's like I don't get moved by that.
So it's a different personality because most people are very afraid of violence, like even doing violence, even in the hood. Like I think if you commit, you know, if you do some thug around people, word travels quick.
Of course.
Right?
No, that's how it goes.
Do you remember like the first time you like gained that reputation as like a tough guy, as like a gun guy, a dude that was like about it?
It was just coming in natural, man. You know, people couldn't come in the block. You know, we having shootouts with other people in the other neighborhoods. We standing for our blocks. We had problems with the Puerto Rican lovers that was like 2 blocks away. They all coming down the block because they want to fight the guys that represent Cypress Boys and this, that, and we really the junior Cypress Boys. We not even the older guys. It was older guys in us that was out there doing their thing, getting money in my neighborhood, but we still like I never put junior Cypress Boys on me and nothing like that. I was like Cypress, and the older guys they respect me also because I put that work and they was like he ain't no junior, his pistols are Cypress Boys. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, and I used to go down the block and fight another neighborhood before. We had beef with this guy, Puerto Rican lovers, and my boy Rudy that passed away, he killed him and he died in my hands. That's another, and he put the through the gloves. You know, back in the day, the gloves with the slipper. Here, man, go to work. And he's one of those guys that he was like the bully in the hood. He was, he reminded me of Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? His name was Rudy, and I looked up to him a lot. He taught me how to fight. Yeah. He used to beat all of us up. All the fellas used to run in the hallway. I'm the only one that wants to stay there and get beat up. But at the same time, I'm learning.
So you would throw hands before you picked up a gun? Like you learned how to throw hands? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're about like what, 13, 14 now. You've worked in some shooting galleries. You've gotten some trouble. You're already on the path.
Yeah, I'm on the path. I'm already I'm having shootouts in the street with my friend with a BB gun, pop, playing around just for the police running down on us, we running upstairs. You know, they finally got me. They took me in. They called my mom. My mom was like, "No, you're not. I'm not picking them up. Yeah, I haven't seen my son in a month." Boom. I went to Sparfit. You know, for those that don't know, you know, Sparfit, you know, it was a jail for juveniles in Hus Point. It's not there no more. Now they built another one, 3rd Avenue. But I went to Sparfit. I stayed at Sparfit for like a month. Came home, messed up again, went back to Sparfit, and wound up going to Brooklyn, non-detention like a facility, like a group home. I went there. I went to Beach House in the Bronx, which I A-walked from there, meaning I left. I jumped out the window and left. And, you know, my mom's, it was tough. I was in every school. I got kicked out. You know, I hit a teacher with a chair and IS 155. That's what really started the whole thing. And, you know, where I started standing up is when, you know, one of my boys was out on bail. We was out there wilding and, you know, he was out on $50,000 bail. I let him hold my Delta 88. And prior to that, it was like this white guy came to the neighborhood selling like a box of guns, you know, and 25s, and everybody and everybody bought the guns. The whole fucking neighborhood had 25s. Wow. It was crazy. So the next day, so I'm here with my baby mother, one of my first baby mother, you know what I'm saying? My oldest son, Peter, his mother, and she was in my mom's house, in my house. And I was taking her home early in the morning. Like, this is till my 5:30, 6 is gonna start to get daylight, and I'm trying to hurry up and get her home. You know, and I got sandals on. I'm like, come on, let's go. You know, it's like summer down there, come on. You know what I'm saying? She's like, all right, come on, I gotta take her to her uncle. My parents are strict, I don't want no issues, right? So, and I'm going down the block until I see all my boys. They got the cop cars, the police, detectives, this, that. They got the girls handcuffed. They got my 2 boys handcuffed, and he has my car, and my Delta 88. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I just told her, I said, John, you good, right? Go home. You know what I'm saying? And I went over there, and the fellas was already coming. Yo, Pete, yo, pistol, yo, they found a 25. You know, they locking them up. They found a 25 in the car. You know what I'm saying? And my boy was out on bail, $50,000 bail for shooting somebody in the head. So I knew this, and you know, I was like, you know, he's out on bail, and I was like, damn, you know, he got caught with a gun in my car. You know what I'm saying? I was like, so I went over there and I was like, oh, by the way, that's my car, that's my gun and all that. They don't know, they didn't even know. And they took all of us to the station house, and then they let them go, and they arrested me, and they took me in. And when I went to court, and when I went out to see the judge, the whole neighborhood was out there. The whole block was there, like, yeah, we love you, Pete. What's his bail? No matter what his bail was, let's get him.
Wow. So what was your charge then?
A gun possession.
Yeah, right.
It's a gun charge.
So how many times, this is before Giuliani, so I imagine you could catch as many gun cases as you wanted before you got real time, right? Yeah. Like the 80s, I mean.
I got probation for like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was on probation when I got arrested, I was on probation for like that.
And talk about like the era before cameras. Like there must have been people getting killed every day in the Bronx.
Yeah, it must have been. Yeah, it was crazy. It was wild now in there's cameras.
Yeah.
So imagine off cameras.
Right.
It was tough.
It was dangerous.
It's a concrete jungle, man.
It was dangerous to be a drug dealer,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was dangerous to be in the street, period.
Right. Yeah, Unique, our friend who did the show, he would tell us that you find a body in the street, it'll just be left there until morning because the ambulance, they're like, I'm not coming around that neighborhood at night. I never found no body,
but my little brother and them, they found a body when I was in jail. I was in jail. They was like, yo, we found a body. You know.
So you just kept going in and out, even in your teen years.
Yeah, like
you were bopping
in my teens,
around.
I was a problem. Yeah, I was having a little issues with being, you know, staying still and running around the streets and like that. You know.
Do you remember like a memorable shootout, like when you eventually got your hands on an Uzi, like you went from a 25 to a?
Nah, I don't. It was so many occasions that it was. I got caught with a Uzi. I got probation for that. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yeah. It was the Uzi was never shot, nothing like that.
Right.
But it was you know, obviously I got caught with it.
Yeah.
I didn't even get caught with it. It was in I was just young and naive, and I wasn't educated. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, let me take that. You know what I'm saying? Not like where now, you know, and you know, and we talking about in 1996, where I only been arrested just to the feds in the state when I went. That's it. But I got arrested when I came home again, and I was going to court and fighting for my life for 3 years for attempted murder.
Yeah.
But this time was around. This time I'm educated. I'm focused. I got money and I got a lawyer and I got a bunch of rich friends. Right. And I went to trial and I beat it. But I didn't start it either. It wasn't like I was out there looking for problem.
Okay, so when did you start? What age did you start saying, okay, no more around? Like I need to get money. Like I need to start collecting.
You know, I was always into getting money. you know, now as far as like when I start acting crazy and being,
Yeah,
you know,
what were you
like,
doing?
you know, like before I went to the, you know, because I went to the feds, I went to extorting drug dealers.
No,
and,
tell us about the 80s.
you know,
We'll move up to that.
Well, the 80s,
Like-
it was just something that I feel what saved me from not being dead is that I went to jail.
I see. Yeah.
Because when I went to jail, half of my friends, they went to jail for life, and half of them went to jail. They was dead. They killed them.
Wow.
So when I came home, it was like, they kids, you know, like I started meeting their kids.
Wow.
Like now they coming out the house. And
What year did you go away to prison for the first time?
I went to, well, Rikers Island or just to up north?
No, Rikers.
Rikers Island, 87.
What was that about?
Attempt murder.
Did you beat that?
No.
You didn't beat that.
No.
Okay. What was that? Okay. How long were you on the island for?
I was on island for 3 years.
Holy.
I went up north in 89.
How do you survive on Rikers Island for 3 years?
I became the first predicate. I was the first predicate on Rikers Island.
What does that mean?
I was the first guy they handcuff and shackle and put restraining orders and built a visiting room for me.
Just because you were so wild?
Yeah, because I cut 19 people in Rikers Island.
Wow. Did you get cases for any of those cuttings or?
Yeah.
Okay. But they just ran them concurrent?
Yeah, I beat them. It was not like before, not like now. Now you catch a Rikers Island, you fry.
Yeah.
They give you a lot of time. But people still doing it. But back then, I realized and knew this information recent that I cut 19 people in Rikers Island, and it's because I try to get on as you know, I started going back to Rikers Island, so I had issues with getting my ID, dog in the yard, on Rikers Island. That's my program. That's my podcast. So I was like, I wanted to get, and they gave me a hard time until I sat down with the mayor. And just like when you interviewing, I asked him, I said, listen, why if I'm doing all this, so much positivity on that for the community, and I'm doing so much this, that, the other, right? Why are they giving me a hard time to go back to Rikers Island, a place that they need me? And I realized that by going there to visit, I only went there because I'm writing a book and I wanted to be my legacy. And I went back to Rikers Island and spoke to the kids. Yeah. And when I went there, it changed I was like...
You cut more people. You probably forgot about people you cut. That's how many people you were cutting.
Yeah, I got into a lot of problems. I got into a lot of
Yeah, and this was before the Bloods and the Crips were a thing on Rikers, right?
It was before that. It was Latin Kings there. It was Nietas there. It was a few gangs.
What are Nietas?
That means Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican gang.
Puerto Rican gangs. Right, I see. Damn, and those cats are used to slashing. That's like
it was wild.
Part of the culture.
It was tough, man. You know, back in the day, it was tough. HDM, C95. I was in the fall building. I got kicked out. I got kicked out of all the buildings.
Well, are you trying to run the buildings? Is that why you have so many problems?
I didn't try. I ran the building. If you look me up on YouTube, King of New York, King of Rikers Island. Pardon me, King of Rikers Island.
Tell us now.
I did that. I regulate Rikers Island.
Don't plug another thing. You tell us on this joint, bro. That's how that works.
King of Rikers Island, man. Do your homework, man. You too. You already know. I'm not proud of it, but this is what they labeled me. I regulated for a long time in every building that I went to on Rikers Island.
Is that just to have the most in your locker?
No, I didn't care about that. I never value. I'm not the guy that's greedy, that want everything for myself. If you get to know me, and if I could do something after this point and you become my friend and you say, P, I want this interview and I can make it happen for you, P is the genuine, I won't charge you $1 and we'll get them for you because I like you.
But it sounds like it sounds like though it was just power. Like if you don't like if you're not motivated by material things so much, like why must you run every single housing block on Rikers?
It was just something that came naturally. Like I wanted the phone. I didn't want them to give me phone time, so I needed my own phone. So I take everybody's phone. And I was there at an era. I came back from the feds. I went to the feds and came back to the island. When I came back, I was red ID. That's when they came up with the red ID, which is like for people that slashes and cut and finally they catch you with knife. They put the mittens on, and the mittens you have them on all day when you go to court. Then when you take them off, your hands smell like.
And that's so you can't hide a razor.
Is that You handcuff and on mittens. Yo, well, how about that one? Like, and the bullpen all day. So by the time you take them, they take them. So you be like, what the fuck? You feel disgusting because Julio had them, Rodriguez had them, K-Sean had them. Everybody wear the same mittens.
So, and they set that program up because of you?
No, that program came while I was gone.
Oh, I see.
They came up with the red ID and all that. When I was there, I was just the first predicate on Rikers Island.
So you really...
Maynard was also too.
Wow.
Also Maynard.
Yeah, he was cutting people. But but they built a whole new... They had to take taxpayer money to build a whole ass visiting room because of you.
Yeah, it was already it was like a visiting room already. They just took like a little piece and made like a see-through bubble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where they could watch me, see me, and my visitor goes in there. And, you know.
Were you able to, were you getting in while you were there?
I did everything, man, when I was in there, man. I mean, I wear almost not the same jewelry, but I wear, back in the day, I wear all my jewelry. I wear, you be like this thing, and then you wear your own clothes. That means you'll come see me, you'll see me, and I take a picture in the yard, and it's like this, with all my jewelry on like this. They be like, look at Pete, man, like he ain't nothing. And I was in there taking everybody's jewelry. I was in there taking, like I did, man, I went to let me tell you a fast Rikers Island story. This is a classic Rikers Island story. I was around the island, I was in Fine, Maine. I got there in the house just one night. When I got there, everybody lived from Brooklyn. You know, back in the days, it was guard bodies, 5%ers. So I was a 5%er. I was a guard body too.
What is that?
You don't know nothing about the Nation of Islam. Like the 5% is just like the original man is the black man, and you know, and there's Bill God, and it's you do math, and it's you know, common codes and shit like
it
that.
was basically like a prison. It came out of Rikers and out of the New York jail system, but it was essentially like. Like a Muslim.
It's in the street. This is big. This is to this day they got guard bodies. A lot of guys is guard bodies. Like you know, you have like Raekwon. Yeah. You know the Wu-Tang, they guard bodies. Right. You know, like Busta Rhymes, a lot of them is guard bodies. Like they know they know. You know, so
the original man.
So original, right. There you go. You know, peace guards. You know.
Yeah. Oh, that's where Peace God comes from.
Yeah, Peace God. Like when you see Peace God, peace, beloved. You know, Peace God. Like my name was K Song Allah, Positive Allah. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But that was my name.
I imagine you guys violated a lot of the rules of Islam.
No, we violated everything. We did. You know what? I was in there. I'm running into all these guys. They robbing everybody. Nobody touching the phones. I was like, what the you guys are doing? I get there with a bunch of guys from Brooklyn. I'm like, yo, with your guys, they all guard bodies. I'm like, yo, but they was a kind of little abusive. There wasn't a lot of Spanish guys get on the phone. The white guys couldn't get on the phone, and I changed that fast. I was there for like a couple of days. Boom, I was like, yo, listen. Obviously they gave me your P. That's your phone. This is the black phone. This is the Puerto Rican phone. This is Spanish. I was like, well, I need that phone. I need two. It was like 5 phones. I need 2 phones. All right, Pistol, you got two phones. Boom. No problem. They all knew what it was. Yeah. I was on my Nobody want no problems with me. So I was like, so we was good. And I gave one phone for the guys that couldn't get on, that they was like not letting them get on. Yo, you know, this nice old man Spanish guys, the white guys, get on the phone. So they love me. Right. They used to try to buy me. I'd be like, no, man, you good. I never took advantage of nobody like that. Like, my thing was big. A guy come through there, he wearing a big-ass nice chain, the jewelry, got the nice chunk. We got to get that. Who's the is that? He ain't nobody be getting that. I need that chain.
I'm an angry guy. I'm a sad guy. I'm a traumatized guy. I'm a guy that needs therapy. And trust me, I get it. I go to BetterHelp. I go to BetterHelp for years now. They are the world's #1 online therapy platform. Getting started in therapy sucks. There's no other way to say it. You already don't want to go do this thing that you know you probably need to do. You got to get in your car, you got to drive and go meet somebody in person. And what if you don't get along with them? A lot of therapists are garbage. Let's just be honest. They're housewives that needed, something to do, right? They're like real estate agents, okay? And then you got to break up with your therapist. It's a mess. BetterHelp has solved all of that. It's online. So if you don't jibe with your counselor or with your therapist, it's easy. You just ghost them and they'll place you with somebody who's better suited to your needs. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of over 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. And again, it's fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. And again, if you need to switch therapists, you can do it easily and at no extra cost. And by the way, speaking of cost, BetterHelp therapists are at least 20% cheaper than going to somebody at a brick and mortar facility. It's that simple. This Mental Health Awareness Month, let's encourage everyone to take care of their well-being and break the stigma. The world is better when people are healthy and happy. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/connect to get 10% off your first month. Once again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/connect. I have erectile dysfunction. You think I'm embarrassed about that? Dude, ever since I got Hims, I'm screaming to the world about my soft piece. Used to be back in the day, you had to go down to Mexico. You had to tie your balls with some kind of bag to jam the blood flow up to get it into your... No more, senor. Hims. Hims is my favorite pill, and I've tried them all, from the brands that used to sponsor this show to the Viagra and Cialis that I used to get from the Farmacia in Tijuana. And I am telling you, Hims is number one. Even if you don't have ED, why would you not want to give your lady something special when she's acting right? Know what I'm saying? Get a prescription for Hims. It's like the easiest thing I've ever had to do. The process is 100% online, so there's no need for uncomfortable doctor visits. Just fill out an intake form on their site, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option for you. If prescribed, and there's an insanely high chance that you will be, your medication ships directly to you for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. And speaking of price, again, you are saving money big time with Hims. They come in at a lower price point than the other competitors, and it's cheaper than having to travel to Mexico or some other foreign country to get your... With hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, Hims can help you find the ED option that works best for you. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/connect. Again, that's HIMS.com/connect for your personalized ED treatment options. Hims.com/connect. I am rock hard just doing this ad read. Ask any of my friends, ask my wife, ask my girlfriends. Hims is a game changer. The featured product includes compounded products which are not approved nor verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality by the FDA. Prescription is required. See a website for details, restrictions, and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
So you ruled with respect, but also still a wolf.
Yeah.
Okay.
All day.
I see. So, yeah, the phones on Rikers are fascinating. The politics over phone time is
people
wild.
Got killed over the phone. I used to take the phone. You know, this ain't the new phones out here. The back in the Rikers Island is the old phone. You take the bottom off it, you take the inside. I used to go to court with it. Take it all the way to court with me, all the way to court, so nobody could get on my phone. Come back and sometime, and I've been in situations where I left my phone there and tell my little man, say, make sure nobody touch the phone. Yo, but I don't know, I want nobody on the phone. And I go to court all day, come back at 8 o'clock at night, nobody on the phone.
But you're not even there to use it. You just don't want nobody using it.
I was just doing like that,
just on GP.
Yeah.
Now, would you...
I had a phone, Jones. I used to be on the phone, and that was like my escape from jail. I used to be on the phone talking to the ladies on the phone, jerking off all day on the phone.
Yeah.
You know, call this one, call Lisa, call Jeanette at 9. Yo, let me call this one.
So you'd be masturbating in the day room?
Everybody around, everybody be like, yo, what the f*** is be crazy? I'll be like, yo, part yourself, yo. I got to do what I got to do, yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I used to be but,
so you're a bit of a thug.
I guess, I don't know.
Were you getting drugs in there? I know drugs aren't your thing.
Nah, drugs was never really my shit. I didn't have to get no drugs in there. The drugs used to come in, and I used to tell the dude that brought the drugs in to shit and clean him up and make sure he give me my percentage.
So you're just taking percentages.
Shit.
And if a guy said no.
No, it was never no. When there was no.
Well, 19 times it sounded like no.
You can't live where I live. You can't. If you had problems with me in the street, anything with my friends, anything, you couldn't come around me in jail. You had to pay your way. And if you really did something really bad, then you can't live with me.
Like sex crimes?
No, we're not including that. They couldn't live around us, period. That doesn't exist around.
Okay,
You know what
but
I'm saying?
I'm asking you that because it's in some places. I don't know
They
about New York.
They lock them up. They keep them away from us. They're not where the wolves is at.
And the homosexuals either.
Well, back in the days, yes, they used to be around. Some of them, they had like a special unit they go to if they really look like a girl, like that, and they be creating problems. And
yeah, those are problems,
yeah,
bro.
people get married and all kind of weird in jail. You know what I'm saying?
Were you worried about
They
AIDS?
throwing rices and all that.
Yeah.
No, serious.
No, for sure.
I swear, gang members, I'm not even going to tell you, but the gangs, but people throwing rice up in the air and all kind of, man.
Wow. Was there any funny, like, around, like, people, like, taking other prisoners' booties?
Nah. I never really seen, like, only until I went up north. You know, like when you go up to the penitentiary up in jail, then you might see funny a guy, running to another guy's cell and they getting it going. And, I had a friend that became a close friend of mine when I went upstate, and me and him was about to go gun to gun, like knife to knife. Because I got to the new jail in Coxsackie, and in Coxsackie you can go like this and touch the wall, right? So it's only a little window like that with the bars. So, but it's so quiet at night, so I got there late because they kicked me out from another jail. So they bring me there. And from Elmira, they kicked me out because I took everybody's jewelry that was on Rikers Island. I went to the visit and gave it to my kid's mom and told her, go ahead, take everybody's jewelry home and stuff like that. And went back and they was like, yo, put my jewelry back. And that was, I had a brand new pair of Air Max that my baby mom had got me, and I'm going. And I was already in a boot. I was already in a Why pen. Why pen is a boot pen in Rikers Island that is called the Why pen. And whenever you do something wrong, you cut somebody, you fight, they put you in the Why pen. So it was me, 3 other guys there, because the day before I took this kid, me and 3 other guys took this guy's jewelry, and on the way to the mess hall, he was there with the riot squad and everything, and he pointed us out, him, and him. Right. They took my jury like that, so they took us out, and they had us in the Why pen. Now we getting transferred to another jail. Right. My baby moms come visit me. I go to the visiting room. Right? I go to the visiting room, everybody that's, yo, what's up, Pistol? Yo, what up? Oh, that's the G. What up, Pistol? What up? What's up? I'm in there, what up? They got him handcuffed. They take all the handcuffs. I got to put the jumpsuit on, right? Boom, and put the sandals on, all that. So I got to put my personal belonging in a crate. So I'm like, yo, what's up, man? Yo, I'm going on a visit. So like I said, I'll stay with jury on, right? I always had jury. Yo, let me hold your chain, son. Let me hold some of the rings and all that. My baby mom's coming. I want to look good and all that. Let me get all that. Let me get that. Let me get that ring there. Yeah, let me hold that. Let me hold the rings, the chains, and all that. I go to the visiting room. I put on the jumpsuit. I give him in the bucket. I give him my brand new Air Max. They just came out, red and white, flash. So I'm like, it's like back in the still like now sneakers. Yeah. So I gave it to him. Boom. I go inside the visiting room. I see my baby moms. I give up my chains. I give them all the jewelry. All the rings, like it was like 2, 3 rings, boom. It was one particular ring was that it was the owl with the diamonds on it, right? Like the owl with the diamonds on it. So, and
you're like, baby, look what I bought for you.
No, I said, yeah, baby, here, put all that. You know what I'm saying? Take that. She said, Pete, she said, she didn't call me Pistol. She said, Peter, what you did now? I'm like, man, Jen, don't worry about it. Just put all this shit and take it back and hold that. Right. And I went back. And the guys would say, what's up, Pete, what's up? I'm acting funny because I already know what I did. So I'm like, what's up? Let me get my shit. They're like, hold up, man. Yeah, what's up? What up? I'm like, yo, get my shit. I got you right now and all that. They're like peeking me. And they took they said, that's like a little 2-3 seconds. They gave me my crate. It was like a net bag, and they gave it to me. And there was some old New Balance in them, twisted up like this. Where my Air Maxes at. So I'm like, so I went like that. I hit him with the tray in the face. Boom! Bitch ass police come. Oh, what's up? So they're like, yo, there's my jewelry at? Where my at? Yo, my ring at? What's up? I be like, that shit is, I don't know what you talking about. It's over, son. Shut the fuck up. So he ain't got nothing to talk about. Yo, we gonna see you in Elmira. We gonna see you. Elmira's like one of the first jails that you go at when you go upstate. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's really bad there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they like, yo, I see you in the penitentiary in Elmira. I'm like, all right, I'll see y'all. See you there. You know what I mean? Let's not talk about it. You already know. Blah, blah, blah. So the police come. I'm super hot because they took my sneakers. I'm thinking I was up until they got me for my sneakers. I'm like, no, I told the police come to me, say, Pete, stop. Listen, I know what you did. I don't care. these guys work for me. There's only one guy I give a about. The guy that you took his ring, the one with the owl with the diamonds and all that, with the pearl in his mouth. Right. Can you give that one back and I'll get you your sneakers back? Give my sneakers out. Oh, they're not even here. My sneakers out. Oh, they already took up to the unit. I'm like, damn, they quick. They took my to the unit and all that. I'm like, so I was like, whatever. So I called. They was like, call you. They stopped my baby mom's on the way out the door. She got on the phone in the front. Yo, what you did, Pete? I'm like, just give them the ring with the owl and all that on it. Give them that. I gave them that. They got my sneakers back and
right. But the other guys, their jewelry's gone.
It was gone. I was like, I'll see y'all up north.
So
and
did you run into them at Elmira?
So when I got to Elmira, I had so much beef in there that I only lasted like a week and a half.
Okay. All right. So let's get back to the case real quick. Why did it take 3 years for them to take you to trial on the attempt murder?
I had other cases like gun charges and like that. So I had to deal with all that. I wasn't trying to cop out to just take any time. Especially I didn't do the crime. You know that what they was really charging me, the attempt murder. I didn't do it.
Really?
No.
You did a lot of other.
Yeah,
you didn't do that one.
I had to pay for that. That's how it goes, karma. So
what happened with the somebody got shot at?
Somebody got shot, and they had the same vehicle like the one I had, and then they came to me and it was like, yo, that's you. But I knew the vehicle and all that. I knew who it was and the whole. But I just said, and it was it. It was like I had a bunch of cases, and then that came up. They came and picked me up. My son was just born. You know what I'm saying? I was going to go get Pampers and shit like that. They gripped me up. Ooh, they took me.
And you're 18 years old.
And it was they took me to right there.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing about forensics before technology is that it was easier to get away with murder, but you could also go down for a body or an attempt body that you didn't do.
Yeah.
No,
it was just the game. You outside in the street. Yeah. It's the game. You gotta be ready for whatever comes.
Did the dude that actually did it, did he look out for you?
Nah.
Okay, so you didn't want to, the longer you can hold out on Rikers, the torture that is Rikers, even though it sounded like you were living,
I was moving around.
about as good as you can.
I was in every jail. I get bored. I leave out that jail. I go to another jail.
You leave out by just bucking somebody or
yeah, I be in so much of a mess that they kick me out the whole building. They be like, and then they take me to another building. They don't want me there. I go through that too. I used to go through that. They'll take me to C95 and I'd be in the bullpens all day talking about, we don't have room for him. We don't want him in this building. Yeah. And then they'll ship me back to the building that kicked me out, the full building. The full building be like, what you brought him back here for? We don't want him here. Well, let's take him to HDM. And they try to get placement in HDM. Let's take him over there. Let's put him over there. Oh, they don't want him over there. And I go through that. I used to go through that too. It'll take me, I'd be in the bullpen all day till like 3 a.m. until they find a place for me. What happened was it became such a problem in finding placement for me and unit for me to go to that I became a predicate. So now they lock me up. They put me in all day in the cell.
You're in the hole.
I was right across the street from Larry Davis. I don't know if you.
The guy who shot those cops.
The cops and all. I used to piss at Larry Davis. I used to have beef with Larry Davis.
Really? Why?
Because he used to have the phone. He had his own cell, a whole area like this. And to himself, living like a king in that bitch, and I'm in a cell, in the small cell right across the street from his ass, long ass. But I'm seeing his whole, and a bunch of cells right here, and it was me and I don't know if you the Supreme team, the guys that from Queens and all that. I was locked up with all of them. Yeah, all the Supreme team. I was there with the one that told. He was my next door neighbor. I was with I was there, and we used to kick it with Larry. I used to kick it with Larry, and I became cool to a certain point because he used to get special visits. So I wanted to go on a special visit and
they let you in the room with no cameras or
it was different. They put you in a big ass room and they leave you there for like an hour, and you could just
your lawyer,
whoever, or your girl come through you.
Oh, they let your girl in too.
Yeah, on a visit.
Wow.
No, a visit.
Hold on, before you go into this story, tell us. For people who don't know who Larry Davis is, this is a famous, wild hood case.
Yeah, he was
incredible.
He was a brother that got into it with the police. Police set him up with a bunch of used to do a lot of dealings with cops, and the cops was crooked.
Yeah.
And then for some reason that he knew information that they knew that was deadly to him and deadly to them, you know, meaning that they was going to be under investigation too. And they came at him a little extra, and when they came at him to arrest him, he was having shootouts with them.
Right. There's these cops. He was wanted for some bodies. He did do some killings for sure, but these cops, these dirty cops, like these are typical, like deep Brooklyn, Irish, crooked New York cops.
He was in the Bronx.
Yeah, I know. But I'm giving the prototype of the cops.
Yes,
you know, these are 80s white guys with mustaches that are like, you know, they look like out of the movie Serpico. You know what I'm saying? So they raided his house with his family there, his kids there. I don't even think they had a warrant for it. If they did, they just came in shooting. Like, they were just shooting at everybody, everything. Like, bullets just riddled the house with, like, little children in there. And Larry shot all 4 of them. Didn't kill anyone, but, like, headshots.
Yeah, he shot.
And he got away. And there was a fat manhunt for him.
It was a super hunt in the Bronx.
You remember that? You remember how hot it was in those days when they were looking for him?
It was crazy, man. So Larry Davis, man, me and him had a little history.
And anyway, so now he's obviously on Rikers.
He was a CMC. We was all locked up at CMC. That's the special unit. We don't go nowhere. Food comes to us. Everything go to us. We can't be moving around. We move around, shackle up from head to toe to the visit, to this, that. That's it. Other than that, you in your cell. So he was obviously in the front, and he used to take the phone. And we used to have like one phone for the whole unit. So he's a dog the phone, and the cops used to be almost scared to ask him for the phone. So I'm like, my man, give the phone up. And you know, and I used to try to throw and piss, and he used to be like, he thought I was from Brooklyn because I always had gold teeth. My whole life.
That so was a Brooklyn thing?
Yeah, it's a Brooklyn thing, gold teeth. So he was like, yeah, you from Brooklyn? I said, no, man, I'm from the Bronx. What's up? He was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna see you. And then later on in life, I ran into Larry in the HDM. No, I'm sorry. I ran into him in Comstock.
Upstate.
Yeah, upstate. And he we kicked it briefly and like that. He was Muslim. He was in the world. He wasn't doing well and whatever at that time. And he was like, what's up, man? What's up, brother? I was like, peace, brother. He said, peace, man. And
so he forgave you for throwing
it was not really, it was like, peace, brother. It was like, yo, man, what's up, man? He was like laughing, like, you're a wild boy. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And we kept it like that. It was nothing.
Right. He got killed in prison.
Yeah, I know.
He eventually got it. Okay, so that's a long time, 3 years. What was the offer, and what did you eventually ended up? Did you take it to trial, or did you take a plea?
Trial.
Okay.
No, I went upstate. I took 3 to 9.
3 to 9. Okay, not bad for what you've already been involved in.
Yeah, all the.
Okay, so 3 to 9.
Did the whole thing.
What's that?
I did the whole time.
You maxed out?
Yeah, and did more.
Okay, tell us about that. What was that over? What is New York State prison like? We know what Rikers is like, but what were some of these institutions?
Tough, man. You know, in the state is different. Is a physical, just a physical punishment. It's like everything there is physical. It's not like in the feds. In the feds is mind. It's your mental. They it's different. And in the feds they smooth. You go to the bullpen. The bullpen don't have not one graffiti artist, not one thing on the wall that says kill all rats or never come back to jail and all this, or Lisa and Pablo, and all that. You know, is clean, is all. They talk to you nice. What you want to eat, sir? You want to eat? What you want to eat, Pete? You want? Let me, don't worry, what you want to eat? Let me get a turkey and cheese sandwich with what you want to drink. I guess, right? You know, like all that, but they give you 100 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The same thing in the feds, when there's a problem, is death. In the state, the difference is you get cut in the face, you get stabbed. A lot of those, you get stabs, cuts. It's not too much death, killing.
Right.
Where, you know, man down. He just killed somebody in the yard yesterday. 2 days ago, they killed somebody else in the yard. Not what you see in the penitentiary in the feds.
In the feds.
I was in Lewisburg. You know what I'm saying? I was...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we ain't get there yet, but it's different. You know what I mean?
So you just, it sounds like state prison is kind of just a bigger Rikers Island in terms of people getting opened up and you might put the beats on somebody.
Some people, you know, man down now and then.
Yeah.
You know, every, year, you know, 2 guys die, probably 1. Not like in the feds.
But what were you doing to max your time out in the state and get more time?
I was just I was in the yard. I'm in the yard. When I'm in the yard, I've been in the yard. When I was on Rikers Island, I was in the yard. I was regulating from day one. Like, the guys that was like the shooters, the gangsters, the guys that wound up going to jail. That it was some guys, they killers and shooters in the street. They go to jail. They want to do shit. They don't want no smoke. No, they don't got no gun. They don't want no problem. You know what I'm saying? I was like that guy that in jail. I was like. It was like I was comfortable, but I was like, oh, I'm cool. I'm here. Like, let me do the best of it. I was exploring. And I was like, lack of education. I go into jail. I didn't have no education. I didn't know how to write, read. I was just like a animal. I was just really wild. Right. You know what I'm saying? So any little given thing, but I was wild, but I had my morals and principles in order. You know what I'm saying? I was real respected. The older guys that was in prison with me from my neighborhood that was gangsters, they respected me. They was like, shh, Pistol was that guy. He's not. He representing the neighborhood. Did you hear? Like they was all like, like I done turned shit. Like I done made a lot of things happen on the island. Like I done been in units. They got transferred to the police, transferred me to another unit with all my guys that I was from my neighborhood. They all black. And before I go upstate to New York, and before I go upstate, to do my time, and stood there, and I was supposed to just wait there till they pick me up to go upstate, and I go there for one day, and I wake up all the Spanish guys. You run the phone, and all my black friends said, "What you doing, Pete? Well, you got the black phone. We're gonna give it to you. Take the phone. We love you. We broke the whole night looking at pictures. Love POs, yeah. The whole night. Now the daytime come, I'm like, I need the phone. They're like, Pete, you got the black phone. No, that's okay, but I'm not black. Yes, you are. Yes, I know I'm black too. But I need a Spanish phone. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, who? And I'm like, who runs the phone? And I'm waking up all the guys that, what's up, Papa? I'm like, I'm saying, yo, go on the left phone. What's up? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all right, we need to talk. Who else? This guy here? Yo. And I woke everybody up to the whole house formed on me. The whole Spanish formed on me. And I had 2 razors in my hand, and I said, let's go to the back. And I went to the back, and I had to fight my way all the way back to the front. I had all my black friends fighting all the Spanish. They gave my man Chocolate, a black guy in the TV room. He's in there fighting like 3 Spanish guys. I had a whole bunch of Spanish guys coming to me. I got 2 razors. I'm like this, what's up? I'm backed up in the car. I didn't know the whole house was gonna come. The whole Spanish came. We rushed out the door. We rushing. So it was a dorm. So it's like a bed, a locker, a bed, a locker, a bed, a locker, a bed, until you get to the bubble where the police is at. Yeah. It's a door, and the bubble is right over it. They can see you. Feel me? So now we got to run all the way to the front because there's too many of them, and I'm like, I already lost 1 razor, so I'm only have 1 razor, and I'm like, this what's up? So I started jumping from bed to bed to get to the front, and my boys as well. They was bed to bed, jumping, and I slipped off of one. Boom! I got stabbed right here in my head. He stabbed me right here, and I got stabbed in my back. He stabbed me in my back. I didn't. You don't feel it because you're the rush. You know what's going on. Yeah. So I get to the front. The police don't open the door. The whole unit coming. I'm like, what's up? What's up? I'm swinging at dudes. What's up? They're like, dude, with their knife, but they're not getting close. I'm like, what's up? So the riot squad finally get there. They open the door. We come out the hallway. Get against the wall. I got the razor in my hand like this. Bull, get against the wall. We all the wall. Me, my man Chuck, my man Shaq, and 2 other guys that we was having issues with. Spanish guy. Police searching me. Boom, get the against the wall. Shaq tells me, you bleeding. I go like this. What? I'm bleeding. He said, I started feeling the heat. The blood coming down my head, like the coming down. I'm like, oh. So as soon as I went like this, and I felt and I seen the blood, I got off the wall, and I went over there where the guy jumped up, went over there where the guy is at, that there was with the other guy, and cut him. And they fucked me up.
The police.
Of course. I mean, I went to the hospital after that. They dragged me.
Yeah, and bro, and the cops, that was those days where they would just
police
gang beat you.
At you in the Rikers Island back in the days. It's not like now.
So you were a problem. Like, did it ever dawn on you after these situations where you almost got killed, almost killed somebody? Like, these are the consequences of me being a bully?
Too. I've been shot. You know, I got stabbed. I was just like a warrior, man. Like, you know.
You're relentless. You sound like an organizer.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it stands to kind of what you do now, what you did with the records and with the rap, and you're a natural like leader, but you were using your powers for bad in these days.
Yes. Now I use it for good.
Right. Okay.
Now
So
I'm like now, you know, not to cut you off, but you know the show Ray Donovan?
yeah.
All right.
Love that show.
So I'm Yap Donovan.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's what they call me.
Yap Donovan?
Yes. They call me Yap Donovan because I fix problems.
You fix things.
A lot.
You fix things. You caused a lot too.
I saved a lot of people's ass.
Yeah. Where? In jail or on the street?
Street. Forget about jail.
Right.
In the street. I saved a lot of people's ass.
Okay, so it sounds like when you were upstate your first time, this is the 80s coming into the 90s. This is when you became a man, you grew up a little bit. But how did you catch more time?
I got caught. I think I got caught with I think it was somebody got caught, somebody got stabbed, and then I got caught with the weapon.
What kind of weapon?
It was a knife, like a banger, like a, you know, some shit that'll kill you.
Like a bone crusher or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, that's a big boy knife.
Yeah, so them like they charged me and stuff like that, and
okay,
you know, those upstate is different. They all cousins, Billy, Bob, John,
right.
They're all cousins and sisters, this, that, and they even get more weird as they go more up north. They become more weird. They related and cousins and all kind of weird. So, you know, you go to court, it's like, you better take whatever you can.
Right, because they know the judge.
Yeah,
of
course, man. What's up, Bob? Hey, how you doing? You ate breakfast? Lisa bring you? Trust me. So, you know, you get whatever you get. You get like 8 months, a year, running concurrent, whatever. We're going to take it. Take whatever. Let me take that.
What year did you come home?
Came home in 2002.
No, from the state?
No.
When'd you come home from the state? I'm talking about the state.
No, I came home from the state 2005.
I don't get it. I thought you did 10 years in 89.
No, at 89, I came home in 2002.
Okay, so off of a 5 to 9, you did 13 years?
I did from 89.
Yeah.
Because 87, let me remind you, the first time Rikers Island was 87.
Yeah.
I came home. I came out and went back 88. So we gonna count 88. Didn't give me credit for 87.
Right.
I was there, but I got out.
Okay.
And then it was over. No more bailing out. That was on bail, like 3 bails.
Right.
It's over. It's time to go to
seriously.
jail. Yeah, like
no bond.
Yeah, no, exactly. So 88. And then came home in 2002.
Okay, so you didn't see the streets at all in the 90s?
Nah.
Okay.
No, 92 or 91, I was in the box. I did 3, hell no.
Wow,
I was in the box.
Okay, so at this time in the 90s is when Terror Squad, Big Pun, first Fat Joe, who actually put on Big Pun, people forget that, they explode, they blow up, they put on for the South Bronx.
They pop in, they big.
Right.
You know, I'm coming home, I'm like, wow, this looking good.
Did you know before you went in, when you were still a teenager, you knew Joe?
Yes.
Okay. How did you guys meet back in the day? How did you and Joe meet?
He was new true street. You know, everybody out there getting money, selling drugs, everybody in the neighborhood doing their own thing. And it was like Joe hustling over there, you know, he's hustling over there. Joe had beef with my guys from my neighborhoods, part of them, and I have to see the squad. Yo, hold up. That's Joe, his family too, woo woo. His brother was that guy, Money Man, let him rest in peace. You know?
Oh, right. He got killed?
No, he died diabetes. He just passed away. That's the months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Joe, I think he was really that dude. Like, he was really handling weight in the street. Joe? Yeah.
Well, you know, he was just like a regular hustler, man. Everybody was out there just hustling and surviving. It's not about him having weight, this, that, or being the man. He was no kingpin or nothing like that, but he was out there hustling. You know, he was out there hustling, beating people up, you know, doing regular...
Selling crack.
You know, he just managed to just get into rap and left this alone, and he was able to survive and save himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And rap saved him because that kept him from going to jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So he never went to jail?
He went to jail, yes. He went to jail. Now he went to jail, like, you know, he went to the feds. He did 4 months in the feds.
Right. Over some, like, tax, some bad, that's such a...
That he didn't do either. You know, his accountant took off with his money.
God damn, yeah, you got to have lawyers and accountants watching other accountants.
It's weird, man. When you got out of money, there's more money, more problems.
So he didn't do a bid in the street back in the day.
No.
He dodged that, man. He's a sharp,
Yeah,
he's a sharp cat.
He turned his life around.
Yeah.
You know, he's been shot, he's been stabbed. You know, he's been through some and he just turned around and started rapping and never looked back.
So, but did you, when you went away, it sounds like you guys knew each other casually, but you weren't part of a crew yet.
No.
Okay. So when you get home in 2002,
he embraced me.
Really?
Yeah, I was in the street. I was getting money in the street. I started doing my thing in the street. You know what I'm saying? And
tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I started getting money in the street. Started extorting people. Everybody paying rent. Everybody do it. I had a team of. I had a whole team collecting rent from all kind of places. You know, from individuals, all kind of drug dealers.
Wow.
And all that. So, and I used to take. Obviously the money and yo, where y'all guys at? Yo, we in Miami. I'll be up see you tomorrow. Wow. Fly out, catch up with him, with Pun. Yo, we going to Orlando. Fly out there. Yo, what's up? And we knew each other. We always had that brotherhood. We always had that mutual understanding and love, you know, and respect for each other. So, so when he blew up and became who he was, I just came along. I just was like, I jumped on a plane, but I was still doing my thing on the street. Right. But he didn't know nothing about it. He just was like. He was happy for me to be around. And he always talked to me about doing the right shit. He always have. You know what I'm saying? I just never listened.
Yeah.
So, you know, but, and, you know, it used to be until that day came and the feds came to get me. And
so you got out after a 13-year stretch, and it doesn't sound like you behaved for long.
Nah, I came home and you know, a lot of people come home out of jail. Come out of jail and either you have a chip in your shoulder, you feel like you know it should have been handed to you, right? You know, or you should have, you know, or things this guy should have looked out for me more than you know. So it was like I didn't look at it like that, but a lot of people get that. My point was I'm out here now and then I see all these punks getting money and these ain't live the life that I live. Like,
tell us about how the Bronx had changed from 87, 88, 89 to 2002.
Oh, it changed. I was like, what the f? It was like, wow. But I felt like it was going fast. I was moving too quick. You know what I'm saying? Everybody getting money, you know, everybody doing their own thing. Oh, this guy is over here. He's, you know, this guy, don't jump in the car with him. I heard he's doing bad things. I'm like, yeah, but he's my childhood friend. I'm not thinking that. He's picking me up, taking me out to go eat champagne, buy me food, clothes, this, that. I'm like, who gives a f what he doing? You know what I'm saying? And I was just on my own lane since day one. Right. And I was like, you know what? What's this guy doing across the street? What this guy over here, what he's selling? What's this dude's getting? And I just started I started plotting and saying, you know what? These guys got to pay rent. They want to sell in my neighborhood. I was raised in this neighborhood. I shed blood and no kind of tears for this bitch. These little dudes, these guys here got to pay rent. Right. And that's what I did. And
so you're back in Cyprus.
Yeah, I'm back in Cyprus. I'm extorting people on my old building that I lived in. I lived for a long time, 600. I'm extorting. I'm having people pay rent. Obviously, one drug dealer get caught. They like, oh, by the way, we getting extorted by Pistol P. They like, oh, what? Feds is like, oh, really? Bingo, we finally got somebody gonna actually bring this guy.
They started licking their chops.
Right, so they like, oh, they excited and they put wires on. And
how was the drug money in the early 2000s? Was it still pretty good?
Yeah, it was
up there in the Bronx?
Mm-hmm.
Was it still crack or was it becoming more coke and heroin?
It was more like coke and heroin.
What about weed? Was the good weed? Because by now, like that's when Hayes started popping.
Weed, no attention.
There's a lot of money in weed.
I know. I mean, I just never really paid never really gave a f about it because I just started smoking at 40.
Right. So you didn't start there were no weed dealers of Hayes was starting to pop out of Harlem. Yeah. So did that make it up to the Bronx? You weren't extorting any Hayes dealers or anything like that?
Honestly, majority of the people, I didn't even give a f what they sold. Like, you just in my neighborhood, you got to pay rent.
Wow.
You got to give me 5 G's. He got to give me 3 G's. He got to give me 5 G's. How much you making a day? Yeah, he's making it. Go over what? He's actually giving you a hard time. Go over there, shut them down. Go out, send some guys over there. They take all their drugs. They break them all up, throw it in the ground. Tell them, tell your boss, contact Pete. You know what I'm saying? If you want to keep it right here, the guy finally come back. Trying to give me a hard time. What's up? You want? I'm not giving. Not giving. All right, go in the block. And then they finally break down. Okay, how much you want? Now give me 4 G's a month, 4 G's a week. I mean, and I used to collect all the money.
Wow.
And
how much could you extort per week? What was like a decent week?
I mean, every week, I was making a couple $1,000. I mean, like, not a couple. I was making a lot more dollars.
Hey, come on, dude. This is long ago. Please be honest.
I was making. I mean, I was coming. It was good. It was, even if you made from a couple spots 40, 50 is great for one day. But 1 week, it's great. But I used to take care of my guys. I used to take care of all my guys that collect the rent for me. I used to feed them. I used to make sure, hey, everybody gets paid. And I never had an issue with somebody being up because I took care of everybody.
So you were now making real money.
Yeah, for a little bit, for 6 months.
Wow, that's it. That's all it took for
the feds came and got me. I became Bronx Most Wanted.
What does that even mean? Like you're on the news?
Yeah, I was on Channel 67. Channel 67. I'm watching my son, like, my heart. I was like, yo, I gotta take a
How many kids do you have by this time?
Man, that's a crazy. Every time I come out, kids, it's like, I got so many kids.
How is that possible? You've only been on the streets for like a couple of years of your life. How do you have all these kids?
It's
Puerto Rican, I guess.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican magic.
For real, I have 2 kids, 2 baby moms pregnant before I went to jail. Man, I got 7 baby moms.
God damn.
So
that's where the extortion comes from, is you got to pay, you got a high overhead.
I gotta get that money. I gotta feed these kids.
Wow. Okay. So, what happened to Joe and them? See that you were on the channel 67 News?
Not only that, when they came to pick me up in the Bronx, they came with helicopters and I was the talk of the bro. They was like, yo, Joe and them was like, but where Pete at? But oh my God, but the helicopter, I heard the helicopters came over there. And then this, that, and none of that. So this is a tricky story, but I'm not gonna get into a detail on it. But the thing is that when they came to get me, I was gone. You know what I'm saying? And the feds always want to find out how the I was gone when they quite almost 100% know that I was in the building. They was like, how the this guy got away? And whatever. But and it became like a little issue with them. Every time they picked me up from the feds used to pick me up, take me to the state, to the court, and bring me back. They used to be like, man, how you got away on this? Because I looked at the PICO, I looked at the PICO, I was like, it was the DEA, ATF, and the FBI. All 3 of them, motherfuckers. I'm like, I'm in trouble. And I got away. So
how'd you get away?
That's the trick. I can't talk about that.
No, yes, you can. Yes, you are. You kidding
me? I
me?
got away, man.
You are not.
I was gone. I just went like this and I was gone.
No, we're not.
They was for a long time. It was like, yo, for how and who? And it was so weird. It was like, but no way, Pete, what the feds just ride up with me and be like, what you want to eat, man? You want something to eat? Just tell us, man. How the you got away? Because we was all like going nuts. Because we had the helicopters. We had the whole surrounded. We had everything there. We knew that you was there. How the you got away? And I'll be like, I went like this. And they was like,
okay, so then how long are you on the run for?
I was on the run for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
I made another kid through there, my son Dylan.
Wow. Okay, so you don't waste time, but you were on the run for 6 months. Did you leave New York or were you still in the Bronx?
No, I can tell you this part, all right? I wound up in a place with a guy that I met at around the corner from where my kid's mom's was at. It was a car wash. And then when I used to always go take my car out the garage, I always had fly cars. I always drive nice cars, So I take my car out, and right around the corner, boom, it's the car wash, right? The hand car wash always been there. So I go in there, and it's the guys take care of my car, boom, boom. I got my kid's mom in the car, and she was in my kid's mom at that time. She was my girl, and she's in the car, and she steps out the car, boom, boom. They gonna clean it, and then I see this kid that's standing out more than all other guys in the car wash. And I'm saying to myself, like, it's bad for me to say it, but I was like, damn, this guy look like he don't belong in this car wash. Like, this guy like got tattoos, like a Puerto Rican kid, like a regular. So I'm like, yo, man, he was like, what's up, man? I know who you, well, you pistol, right? I was like, what's up, man? what you doing, man? You work here? He was like, he had the uniform and he had the shirt. He was like, yeah, I work here. I just came home. You know what I'm saying? I'm working, man. You know what I'm saying? I got to do the right thing. I live with my grandma. My grandma's like 80-something years old, you know, and I was like, yeah. I was like, damn, so how long you been here? He said, I've been here like a week, you know? I was like, yeah. I said, well, tell your boss you're going to quit and give him your shirt. And tell them you're gonna quit. You're gonna come in the car with me. My baby mom is fighting with me, and she's like, "What are you doing? Tú conoces a muchacho?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about that. Like, shut the f up. Like, I got this. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it." I was like, "Yo, come on." They cleaned the car. Boom. He jumped in my car. I went back to my crib. Took the back to my crib, gave that nigga like 2 boxes of clothes, gave him like 4 G's, and he took him to, and he took me to his house. Boom. I went to his house. Boom. He said, "This is where I live. I live on the 2nd floor, and I lived there with my mother, my grandma. She raised me. My mother died. My grandma was like 80 years old, and I was like, cool. I got you." You know what I'm saying? Whenever you need me, whenever you need something, you call me. And he was like, bet. All right. And I never brung him around nobody. And the day that I needed him, I knocked on his door with no shirt on and said, yo, I need you. Wow. He said, come inside. My grandmother came out, gave me some food. She said, you stay here. I bought a pull-up bar, and I stayed there. And
now you got a stash spot.
I stayed. I stayed there. They took care of me. They was like, yeah, we love you.
Wow.
Like, and
were you able to operate while you were in hiding? Like, were you still able to make
I got comfortable. I started going outside to the clubs and got into a big problem in the club, and that's how I got caught, because I went to another, after the club. I went to Steppens. It's in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? Steppens in the Bronx at the diner. So in Parkchester, I think Pelham Park. So it's a diner that everybody goes to. Yeah. So I went there. Everybody went there, but I'm on the run from the feds. Yeah. Right? Remember this? So I'm out clubbing at night. I come out. Now I left the house and got up myself another place on the down low somewhere in East Tremont, where they got like these little houses in the corner block, and I got a room. And then people used to come see me, like my baby moms take 3 trains, the bus, this, that, before they come, because the feds will follow her for a while, and all kind of shit before they make it. So, and I used to come out at night and go to the club with the fellas, and happen in the club, and I had got it popping with some dude, and I had him by the chain and beat him up and whatever. We left the club, we went to go eat, and instead of me going to my back to my little hole, I was like, where y'all guys? Yo, we in Steppens. We gonna go to Steppens, we gonna go eat breakfast. And I'm feeling tipsy, I'm hungry, I'm like, let's go. So I'm in there eating, some dudes come in. Crazy, man, God. Like the devil be out there. Like, the guys came over, he was like, what's up, man? You sitting here? And I'm like, huh? I'm like, yeah, well, what's up? He said, all right, we know, because we usually sit here and this, that. I'm like, my man, but we sitting here. He said, yeah, but I'm like, all right, but it was kind of dizzy and drunk. I was like, so then one of my brothers, he looked at me, and I'm like, he came, picked up the chair, hit the guy, boom, it was on. So now I turned the fight into a robbery. So if I'm fighting you, I'm honest with you, take all your shit. Sure. So I took all the jewelry, I'm feeding them. I take all the in front of the club, like, give me your shit, punk, out of here. I had all these chains in my, they jewelry in my, like, they chains in my pocket. And everybody bolted because the police came. We tore the whole place up. Wow. And then everybody ran this way, that way. Yeah. I got my baby moms, come on. We over there by the projects, and I'm walking with her, and I'm like, come on, we gotta go. And I'm like, all right, we cool. You know, the cops coming by, woo. And the blue and white car came. He had a guy in the back. The guy was like, and he came to me. Bro. I was with my baby moms. I told her, keep walking, because I didn't want to get her in trouble with the feds and all like that. So I told her, yo, leave, right? So she kept going. I went up to the police. He said, get against the wall. He to search me. So when he went to search me, I pushed the police and ran. I was so out of shape. I was a fat drinker.
I believe you.
You hear me? I jumped through this building from one building to another in the back. I had a dog chase me. I'm in the back of somebody's building. At back is a bunch of houses. I'm in the back of. I'm like this. I couldn't even. I was like, man. I was so up that I was like, man. Let's just end this. Come get me, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna die of a heart attack anyway.
I felt I was fine. And then I took the jury, and somebody woke up the next day and back, yo, oh my God, I got some good chains. I left the. I left the
jury you robbed, yeah.
Yeah, in somebody's backyard. So I hear the helicopter. I'm hearing all kind of shit. I'm like, oh my God. What, am I bugging out? I was nervous. I was scared. I was tired. I was really tired, though. I was like, it came. I tried to jump over the gate, and they came. They grabbed me. Boom. They was like, oh, freeze. Boom. They handcuffed me. Boom. I was like, I was talking shit. So they came. They handcuffed me to my back. They put the little zip. And I was, like I said, I was tipsy. I was drunk. So I was like, man, they was like, what's your name? I was like, Julio Carrera. You know what I'm saying? That was my Julio Carrera. And I had ID and everything. Julio Carrera. And they was like, all right, cool. Boom. And then they locked me. I was fighting, beefing, talking. I said, shut up, man. Talking shit. I don't know what the I was drunk. And I was talking shit. And the niggas left me with the hand. They said, listen, bro, we're not going to take the thing off because you a little bit like under the influence. We're going to let you calm down. And I went. And I fell asleep for a little while in the movements. Boy, I got arrested with 2 other guys. I never knew these guys. These guys was Dominican, and I didn't know these guys. But they was with us. They was one of the guys. They was with the fellas, right? And I didn't know who the these guys was or nothing. And we went to court. I'm in the bullpen. I'm like, oh man. So I'm a little bit still tipsy. I come in and I'm in the cell. So it's bars. Some of the bars be having like little chips, like little metal sticking out. I started scraping my fingerprints all over like this. Boom, all my fingerprints, right? They take me out for fingerprint, they didn't get it. Wow. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm back in the cell. I'm like, oh man, this gonna go right, they gonna let me go. I'm like, man, so I'm like, I'm nervous, right? I'm like, and then they came back and said, nah, I already know the next trick though. The next trick is we're gonna take you to 161st and then we're gonna fingerprint you there again. Because that's what happens when you go there, they got the digital shit, the official shit now. So they was like, we're gonna pick you, we're gonna do it again. I was like, all right, no problem. We went there again. Boom. They fingerprint me again. They did all that, boom. I was in the bullpen with the kids, with the dudes, and I don't know the guys. I told them, listen, this was gonna happen. We're gonna go in there. If they find out who I am, then I'm gonna tell them that you don't got nothing to do with it, and your guys is free. I'm gonna tell them that I did the robbery and all that. I'm going to jail anyway. I'm going to fast. Don't worry about it. It was like this. One of the guys that I was telling that to was super rich. He's like this. He's like, huh?
Yeah, this guy's all right.
He's like, I was like, yeah. He's Dominican kid. Word. When I came home, he tried to give me all kind of. I just didn't take it because I don't know where it came from. So I'm
cocaine.
Good. Yeah, I don't know his. So I was like, I'm good. I already know my lesson. So I'm smart now. You give me no free money. Yeah. So I'm like, he was like, yo, you sure? I was like, pa, no te preocupes. You know what I'm saying? Yo voy para allá afuera a decirle que fui yo. Si sabe que yo, porque yo sabe, sabe que yo estoy cogiendo, I'm running from the feds. If they find out and I'm not coming home, I'm gonna tell them right there, yo, these 2 guys don't know anything. I did all the right. Boom. So I go up there and go to the judge. They say, Julio Carrera, a.k.a. Peter Torres, known for FBI, the FBI verbal, looking for, boom, Bronx most wanted, all kind of, I was like, Your Honor, I was like, I said, I'm fine, I'm cool. I already knew. My family was in the back. They was like, I already know. So, and then the guys is there. The other 2 guys, my co-defendants. And I was like, yo, I like to say, Your Honor, these guys here, they ain't have nothing to do with what I'm charged with. You know what I'm saying? Right now, what I'm being charged with, assault and robbery, all this, these guys don't know nothing about it. They're innocent. And they went back and they let them go. They beat it. They beat it. For that.
Fascinating guy.
And when they took me in, and that was it. They took me to the feds, and the feds came and picked me up.
So now you're sitting at MCC downtown?
Yeah, I'm in MCC. I'm at MCC. I'm like, what the is this new adventure? Right. I'm a animal, and this looking all clean. Yep. The walls it was brand new. I'm like, and they treated me with how you doing? How's everything? You okay? The handcuffs is not tight. This, that. You're right. Torres, Pete. Hey, Pistol, you good? Hey, Peter Torres, you okay? You good? You good? You comfortable? When I get there, you good? I know you a little tired like that. You want a little pillow, sign? You good? Hey, what you want to eat? I was like, huh? I was like, turkey and cheese sandwich with joints, a Sprite. They was like, okay, sure. Yo, get him a Sprite. Let's get him his order sandwich. I'm like.
They treat you good before they give you 100 years.
years. The will rock you. So I'm like, I went to court. Like, she said, "What the f you think you are?"
Right.
I had the judge that sentenced Boy George.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? And she was tough as f. She didn't give a f. She said, "Bring the kid outside the courtroom."
Right.
She didn't give a f about the newborn, this, that.
Right.
I tried to go in there with the whole newborn and this, that. That do not work in the feds. He was like, yeah, like, who the hell you think you are?
Right, manipulating us.
Appellate to the society, and because, yes, we know that you extorted, you did that, yeah, and we know that you saying that, yeah, you gave back, because I did a lot of good shit. I gave people TVs. I was like Robin Hood in my neighborhood. I bought people that their kids was crackheads, their moms sold, their son sold the TV, beat them up and bought her TV again. I was doing a lot of other shit like that. I had when I went to court for sentence, I had a list of neighborhoods that was like that wrote petitions like, Pistol is not that guy. He's awesome.
So you weren't extorting ordinary people, civilians. It was just drug dealers.
Drug dealers.
Right.
That's it.
Okay. So, but you had them.
I never thought I'd go to jail for extorting drug dealers.
Yeah, they tell.
No.
Drug dealers call the cops.
But that's not why you go to jail. It only becomes a federal charge because some of the roads, it's just bugged out. Some of the roads in the streets are related. It's federal. I don't know what the fuck.
Hang on. No. Are you? No. Hang on. Let's just talk about this.
All right, hold on.
What were your charges? Tell us what your charges
extortion. Were. Extortion, drug dealing.
So is it racketeering?
No. It was. Okay. It was just. I was simply no. The only thing is because it was interstate commerce. It was. I see. That's why.
I see. Interstate commerce. So were you hitting trucks?
No, it was just I was benefiting off the proceeds that was coming from out of town. It was the drugs. I was getting the money off the proceeds.
Right.
So they sell the drugs and I take the money. I was living off the money of the drugs.
You were sending groups of people to do it for you, which also makes it federal. Of course. You know what I mean? You weren't doing it yourself.
It's only me and one guy got caught. Me and I had one co-defendant.
Right.
Nobody. There was a bunch of people. Like obviously we didn't tell.
Yeah.
So we didn't bring the whole rest of the crew down.
Right.
It was just me and him.
So, and the crew didn't tell on you?
No, they never got caught because we never told.
Right. Okay. So,
and the only one they really wanted was me. Mm-hmm. And the only reason they got my co-defendant because he had a big mouth at that point. That he's the one that really was talking too much because I didn't talk too much. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So now you're facing what? What are you looking at? What is pretrial?
Well, I went to 20 years.
Okay, that's what it was looking up to.
Yeah, and then they can enhance me. You know, they got all that. You know, the state guidelines, federal guidelines. I mean, you know, if you have 2 felonies prior, then it goes down to level 7, and you know that 20 years turned into 34 years. And
so they can use they can use your rap sheet from the state, sends you in the feds.
Use all that and rock you for that. That's why I had to fight the most because I was a member. I was a maniac in the state. Right. So it's like now I got to prove myself to. I had Tupac's lawyer. I forgot the guy's name. He was my lawyer. He was like, Pete, you remind me of Tupac, bro. Like you crazy. Yeah. You know, but I was always straight up with him. You know, he was like, yo, we gonna go. And he was there for me. And I had a lot of guys that was there facing a lot of time with me, a lot of different crews from different areas. They was all in jail with me, and a lot of guys was experienced. They was in jail before me, and they helped me. They was like, "You're gonna be okay, Pete. You here for extortion, as long as they don't bring nothing else up. You know what I'm saying? As long as you don't come up with nothing else and nothing else pop up and all that, then you good. You know, so you're gonna drag this along." And then they started helping me out because I didn't know the Lord, I didn't know the Fed Lord and this, that, the state guideline, level 2, this, that, and I'm like, what the are these people doing? When I got to MCC and they took me to a unit, the first unit that they took me in, I didn't even come out. They took me to a regular unit, like where population is at, where everybody got cells and everybody's watch the TV room and all that. When they took me there, it was locking time. They took me to the cell. In the morning, everybody's cell opened up except mine. I was like, hey, my cell. The sergeant, the warden come and say, I'm sorry, Pete, you're going to the hole, buddy. I'm like, the hole for what? People scared to death for you. They don't want you in this unit. Wow. I'm like, here we go. I just got to the fence.
How wild is that? I'm like, cats are already calling in, telling them, nah.
Yeah, because a lot of guys, so what happened was they gave me a break and they let me out and they took me to the hole and I stood in the hole for like a month and then they let me go back to population and then what they knew was gonna happen was gonna happen. I ran into other people that was telling on other people that I knew and I was beating them up.
Wow. In the MCC population.
Yeah, like, yo, this not, she's the one that telling on this, that you going that you in Pete? I'm in 9 North. Oh, this over there, it's tunnel on me, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, that's him. I got it. So I go back, beat him up, shake him out the unit. And then they started giving me obstruction charges, and the feds was getting mad at me.
Okay, so did that, where's your lawyer like, what the are you doing? You're not making it easy for me.
I was going through the old courthouse. I was going through the one with Sammy the Bull used to go to.
Yeah.
Man, I used to drive
Spring
him.
Street.
Yo, I used to drive them crazy. They used to be like, this guy's different. And I was like, at the same time, cool, because the COs love me, the marshals, they like, yo, Pete, you a trip. But at the same time, that's when I started Kill All Rats.
Okay, so yes, Kill All Rats, one of the best songs on that Fat Joe album. Can't remember the name of the album now, but it's a brand that's popped up in hip hop since that era. Mm-hmm. Explain, and you're the creator of it. It's a cool acronym, KAR, Kill All Rats. What the is that? And how did it start when you were in MCC?
It's not a gang. No. First and foremost, it's a bunch of guys with morals and principles that we all live by the same morals and principles. It's just like if you here, you do what you do in your job, and your engineer, something happened, and he says, well, you did it. You're going to be like, what the this told on me, Kill All Rats. Now you kill all rats, right?
Yeah.
You feel
I will kill him. I will kill my engineer, Chris, if he this footage up.
Exactly. Yeah. So my point to you is that, so it was a bunch of guys with morals and principles, and they me out to Otisville.
Hang on. I don't want to jump forward here because we want to figure out how much time you got and how you managed.
I gotta leave soon.
No. We're not. You son of a bitch. No, we got you here. How did you dodge a life sentence? And then we'll get into Kill All Rats. Like,
I might have did a lot of bad, but I never really took it there to where it'll cause me to cause my life. You know what I mean? Like where I paid for what I done. You know what I'm saying? Like everything I done is really what I did. So everything else is like, it would be like, I was in the feds, they was trying to bring other situations. Oh, but it was a shootout over here, and this guy got shot, and this rat just saw me through the window, and all of a sudden I'm like, my lawyer's bringing me down, talking about, yo, this guy saw you. I'm like, who? This guy? I don't know. You was on the elevator and they saw you. Now he said he remembers something about you. And that's how the way the affairs are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It takes two more, and you go to jail. So I already know this game. So I'm like, oh yeah? Well, he could suck my because I don't know what the he told. My lawyer was like, all right, bet. So they could fuck him.
Right.
We're gonna ignore it as long as they don't come with nothing else. I was like, no, I don't got nothing to do with what I'm here for.
Right. So how long did it take to get to sentencing?
I was moving back from I went to MCC. They kicked me out. I went to MDC. They didn't want me MCC no more because I the same problem like Rikers Island.
Beating up rats.
I was in there, yeah. So I went from there. I went to MDC. I met some other brothers in there. A lot of other guys that's facing a lot of time. A lot of famous guys. I wasn't gonna say the names, but a lot of guys that they got a lot of time. Mm-hmm. I was with them. I was at MDC. MDC was cool. I was out there. You know, the girls send you panties to the thing. They show you how you jerk off. You send them. It was another movie with the girls downstairs, and I'm like, what the is this? And I ain't last long, and then they shipped me to Otisville. Okay. Otisville is it's a jail. It's a jail. It's like a medium jail, but it's a max. But you go back and forth to court. So I wound up going to Otisville, and in Otisville, that's when that's when I was there for a while, and that's when Kill All Rats became a little big. That I used to have to. They used to report. I used to have reports to SIS. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The investigation unit. They're the feds in jail. They come and they like if one of my guys that has a Kill All Rat tattoo beat somebody up or asked him for his papers. Now they got him in the box. The next day they call me. Hey Pete, by the way, we need you in the office. I'm like, okay, who did what? He said, oh, by the way, your guy Fibbles, he just beat this up, asked for his paperwork, took all his shit. He's in the box. What are we gonna do, Pete? I said, let him out the box. I got it. Won't never happen again. All right, Pete. Boom, you take him out the box, and another occasion happened. Boom, again, Pete, hey, what's up? You know, it used to be like situations like that, you know, like every time back and forth, you know, and
so Kill All Rats is becoming like a brand within the people that you associate with, like
people around me. We'll put KAR on the back of our chairs, so everybody around me in my TV, because everybody had their TV. So I used to watch a lot of soap operas. You know what I'm saying? I used to Spanish shit.
Right.
I be watching soap opera all this bad, but on my back of my seat, and it says "kill all rats."
Wow.
So when people come in there, like, don't talk to me, you're a rat. You like, don't you already know? Stay away. And everybody around me was like the kingpin for this one, this case, the kingpin that's wasting life on this guy. Like, I wonder what a lot of guys. And at the end of the whole trip, I ended up at Lewisburg with everybody that had life, and they wasn't coming home. I'm the only one in the table eating. They're like, "P, how much time you got? 25, right?" I was like, "Nah, I ain't got 25 years." You know?
So you were basically, you started really like checking people's paperwork, beating them up if they were rats.
They can't live in a unit with us.
Right.
Like that. Yeah.
Right.
Like they were doing that in the other units. You know, like the other guys. And then whoever became a killer, like it was like, yo, they'll be like, yo, kill all rats. So like get the tattoo pistol, like, you know, I'm official, my paperwork, I'm legit. Look.
Wow.
Okay, you get the tattoo, and they kill all rats. And
so this was the same era as like the Stop Snitching kind of brand came about.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Right. It's the same.
It's bugged.
Yeah, right? Because there's so much telling coming out of that
that's
time.
The same time.
It was
so that's why it was really crazy, because I was jumping out of G4s, you know it's a G4, right? I was jumping out of the G4s, like, kill all rats. I used to have, you know, they had the DVDs back in the day, Smack DVD, you know, all the hip hop DVDs. I was with, like, that's how I know all these guys, Nicki Minaj, Dre. We used to be in all the hot DVDs from up and coming in the hood. Yo, what up? Yo, what knows your boy Pistol P, KAR, TS, like that.
Right.
And them, you know, I finally came home after, you know, going through that through that stretch in the feds. I went to Lewisburg, you know, and people used to be like, you know, the guys sitting down like, "Damn, Pete," you know, like, what the fuck, you know, like.
So is that an actual car in the? Did KAR become a car in the feds?
What do you mean a car?
Like, you know, they say that in
car
some prisons.
is when you work out. Like, that's my car. Like, if we working out, you want to jump it, because I used to. That was my thing in jail. I ain't never. We talking all this, but I didn't tell you I was one of the strongest guys in jail. Like, I got plats, trophies. I was
bodybuilding.
I was doing 15, 20 reps. I was lifting up, squatting 700.
Wow.
Nah.
Okay.
I was a beast.
So, but KAR wasn't like, you know, like it wasn't an official like gang.
There was no
the
gang.
feds called a gang. Okay.
No, man, it was no gang. It was none of that.
It was a culture.
That's it. It was just a way of living. That's it. It was just now we killing rats. You know what I'm saying? But that created a lot of problems, a lot of extra for me. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I was with this. And the feds, I was already in Lewisburg. Like, what? I'm like, all right, well.
Okay, so tell us what year you got sentenced finally.
Let me see.
You got arrested in 2002, 2003?
No, 96, remember?
No,
96.
you told us you got out
of the feds.
Yeah, I'm talking about the feds, yeah.
Yeah, the feds. So I went to the feds in 2000. No, let me see, feds.
It's always tricky when you ask a lifetime felon about years.
Yeah, like I never really counted all. I ain't know the
Okay,
but I know I got sentenced to 73 months to 90 something months. You know, in the feds is different.
How did you only get 5-something years?
Yeah,
what?
I went.
What?
That's what I got.
How? That makes me mad. You deserved more time than that. I'm not even a rat, but I'm a tax-paying citizen.
Yeah.
So
I fought this for a long time, for almost 3 years, and I was in the feds back and forth. The only thing I was around a bunch of guys that was there before me, and they really good with the law. Right. And it was like, no, tell them this and fight. You got to fight this, and your background on this, and and what happened is they try to add the juvenile to my. That's when it was like at 15, 16 years. But once they knocked off the juvenile, that shit went down.
Now your points are coming down.
Went all the way down. It was like, 73 months, whatever, to 92 months. I was like, let's go.
Yeah. So, but the lawyer fees must have been brutal.
Yeah, but the lawyer loved me, man. He became too. He was like, he used to like admire. He used to be like, he was Tupac's lawyer, so he'd be like, you remind me so much of Tupac. You know, I used to have the super escort to come visit him. Like I was being treated special too.
Right.
So he'd be like, this here? Like, who the f-?
Right.
You know, and he was like, just chill out, whatever you doing here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He used to tell me all the time, chill out, whatever you doing here, don't talk to nobody about nothing. Just know that. And I used to be like, all right, cool, I got you. Don't tell nobody anything extra. All right, cool, I got you.
Yeah.
That's what he used to tell me.
Right.
And then when, you know, when I took the time, she was like, you better ever, ever.
Right. So the judge knew that you were getting a sweet deal.
She said, don't ever come in here.
Right.
If you ever come in here again, you never ever come home.
Right. So
she told me that.
You dodged a racketeering. Like, you basically got a lot of the serious, like, mafia type.
All that shit off.
You got all that off.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. She must have, I don't know. They must have seen something in you too,
God knew I was had better plans.
She was.
Because if not, I won't be going right now and doing all the great deeds and all the beautiful things that I do. Now I go back to Rikers Island and I stop riots from happening. I went to Tennessee to stop people from each other and like I'm doing that you can't do.
I can't stop people from.
No. You're saying or beating themselves or stabbing you or killing you. Now
Right.
I went to Nassau, Tennessee, which is a different breed.
No.
Jeez. All right. I went to a real and this tough
breed.
there. And I put all gangs that I don't even know exist all together in one room and told them, what are we gonna do, guys? This is what we're gonna do. And I told them what they're gonna do. And it was like this, all right, Pete. And I sat down the warden that runs the jail, told them, you need to stop going, man, they just get me upset. You know, you can't trigger that. And I had to calm him down.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So if I was in jail, I wouldn't be able to do all those things, all these blessings, man.
Tell us about the last part of the journey, which is the feds. This is the real deal. This is the big leagues. They shoot you to Lewisburg. You only have 90-some months. That's only, what is that? How many years is that? Like 6 years, 5 to 6 years. So how do you go to Lewisburg's where everybody is doing all day?
You know, so I go to Lewisburg. My Sully, man, I love him, man. You know, he had 4 life sentences, 135 years. I'm sitting at the table. We going to the mess hall. He got 9 life sentences. Yeah. This guy, nah. So I go there. They keep me in the box for almost 2 months.
When you first got there,
I'm like, what the f-? So I'm in Lewisburg. Now they after a month, something was happening. They kept me there extra. I don't know, almost like a month and 2 weeks. They took me. They have a program there where they before they let you go to population, they have it's like a unit, which is the warden, the captain, the lieutenant, the CEO, everybody's the boss, the counselor, everybody's in one long table, and you sit right at the end of the table, and you're in a jumpsuit from the box, and they tell you take it off in front of all these people. You take it off, and you got one guy taking pictures of all your tattoos. What this mean? What that mean? Oh, killer rats. Wow. We know about this. I'm like, oh, what's up with that? What that mean? Oh, that's Fat Joe. Oh, you got John Gotti here, loyalty. Wow. Oh. So you from, we see you from this block here on Cypress Avenue, This guy's here from CMC. This guy's here from that crew from there. They here. Oh, but we see that you never told. You good. So you good as far as that. You didn't tell. But do you have problems with these guys? And I'm like, no, I ain't got no problem with nobody. Okay, let him go to population. He's good. And then they approve it and let me go.
So they basically strip you naked in front of like
but before
8
they
administrators.
Before they let me go, it was a guy. I can't be telling you so much. I'm writing my book, and you know that.
I know this.
So this guy that I was in the box. I told you about for a month and like 2 weeks. Yeah. So we go out there. There's a few guys in one set, like in one big old cage. 3 at a time. 2 over there, 3 over there, 4 over there, whatever. So one guy, one of my brother-in-law, my ex-brother-in-law, he's there. So he's there. Yo, what up, Pete? What's up? Yo, everybody know your pistol's in the building. Everybody talking, screaming, yo, pistol. Wow. He's like, oh, piece head.
So cats in Lewisburg knew who you were.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm in Lewisburg. So now I'm in there like in the yard. I'm like, what's up? So I'm like feeling out, just feeling a whole shit. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool, So this guy started talking to me. Usually it happens. You have a dumb nigga that's a dumb, don't have no common sense. Yo, what's up? Yeah, my name is, blah, blah. Yo, by the way, I used to talk to your baby moms. I just want you to know. I'm like,
which one?
The one that my brother-in-law is there, like his sister.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I'm looking at him, and I've been around this. I come from the slums. I could see through I know that you are a dope fiend, or ex-dope fiend. I could look at it and know dope. I know, bro. I told you, man. You know, I worked. I had that. You know, I used to work at that
spots.
You know, I used to work at that. Where they used to shoot up at that shooting gallery. So I know dope fiends. So I'm like, and not only that, my uncle's dope fiends. A lot of people in my family, they died from AIDS, from dope and all that. So like I know. So I'm looking at them like, you got little tattoos and shit. So everybody caught up when they down with gangs. Everybody want to be, so he's a Latin King. They screaming out more the hey, this Latin King stuff and all that. I'm like there, like, yeah. He said, yeah, I used to, just letting you know, I know who you are and all that, and I'm like, and I'm not really trying to talk to him too much and all like that, because I'm trying to like really like get a new start. But like right now, so my brother-in-law was like, he knows. So he's like, let me get this guy from talking to Pete, because Pete gonna want to cutting him. Right. So I'm with the fast. Like, don't tell me no stories about you around my son and all. Like, my man, like, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? So before I got out the box, and I went to that unit before they let me go to population, that guy, they did him so filthy in the yard. They knocked him out, bro, and they cut all his tattoos that says Latin Kings on it. Man, oh my God, it was a mess in the yard.
That's wild.
Yeah, I was like, what the same dude.
He's a lame.
Yeah. See, what happens is came out that he had told and this, that, and what and they cut it, they knocked him out and did him filthy.
Well, everybody I've talked to in the feds, they always say, in the feds, you cannot hide. Like, they'll find you out.
Nah, you can't do no stupid. That's what I told you. It's different in the state than the feds. Yeah. In the state, you get cut, stabbed. Look at me, I stabbed 19 people. You get, sometimes you almost kill somebody, but it's always stabbed. In the feds, I got into an argument as soon as I got there, the first week, I got into an argument over the microwave, and the dude was like, what you said? And I'm like, my man, my was there. You just jumped in. He was like, yeah, but nobody was here and all this, and he just put his food before my and all that. My cellie came out, his cell, the cell that we roommate, cellies came out and told him, what's up? What you trying to do? What's up? Are you ready to go? Let me know. All right, he's not going to talk about it. Told me, just chill, Pete. What's up? What you want to, like, it's life and death. Like, it's either, it's no disrespect, and I cut you. If you disrespect, I'm your man down. I'm stabbing you till I'd kill you. Wow. So he was like avoiding that. He was like, let me chill before that dude pull out a knife on Pete. Or, he got into face. He checked the dude like, yo. And I was like, cool.
Was Lewisburg still wild when you got there?
Lewisburg was wild.
It was deadly, right?
Deadly. People getting killed.
Our man Unique saw, he was in the mess hall, and it was like the first day he saw a dude get a knife like through the side of his throat.
It was crazy loose in there. But this is the penitentiary for real. That's a real jail. Right. That's prison.
What was some wild?
They feed you good. Right. Guys know what they do. Right. They give you all kind of chicken, barbecue. Yeah. You eat a hot bar. You get all kind of rice, beans. You go to the soda machine they got in McDonald's. Ice. All that. But you got 100 years. You never come home.
Keeping the animals at bay from turning on them and killing everybody.
That.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So one of the good things was when I went to. Before I went to Lewisburg, I was and I got into, I've always been into working out when I was upstate. So when I went to the feds, I was a monster. You know what I'm saying? So I did a lot of shit. I used to have the Italian mafia, the Gambino family, all of them feeding me and all that. They used to place bets, $5,000, $2,000. There's money in the feds. This, that, and the other. Yo, for me to walk around, the guy that whoever they claimed that just came into the jail, all the guys be trying to sick them on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they Big Black just got here from
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. And he from Leavenworth, and he lifts up the whole gym, and I'm like, they like when they want to sick him on me, and obviously the Italians is more into, they on some, they don't give a fuck, but they own. Yeah, they on some, they don't give a fuck about other races or none of that.
They're very racist.
You know what I'm saying? They really on some, especially the older they are, the more racist they are. But they love me. They used to call me, come here. Yeah, they used to feed me. Here, Pete, we love you. I said, you better do your thing. Don't let them No, they used
What
to
do you
be-
mean sick when they say sick 'em on you? Like in the ones?
Like feed me and be like, get them, because they used to bet against other dudes for money, and I used to walk around the baseball field with 315 and squat on each base, and I used to get money. They used to be like, they used to send me money. I came home, I took a private plane to go home. I didn't ask Joe nobody for nothing. I had money I had like 20 grand. And all from lifting up, I used to go with 315, go from first base to go from home, first base, squat one time, go to second base, squat one time, go to third base, squat one time, and then go back home and squat 2 times to the bucket, boom. And then we used to go, all right, and people used to be like, I'll do it. And until they get to like little, they be like, oh, we can't. And then
so that was your hustle.
That was my hustle. Besides on the bench too, like, yo, how many reps you could do? What's up? You know, I used to have the bench where 315, I used to be like, what's up? Let's do 315. Well, we're gonna do it more. You know what I'm saying? We do 315. I be doing like 315, like 23 times, 24 times.
Yeah.
But I'm like 180. I'm like a little, but I was.
You're just
yoked
up,
and I was strongest. Strength.
Yes, sure.
That's the ammo strength.
Okay, so by the time you got all your good time?
Yeah. No, I lost some good time in the fast.
Or what?
Beating somebody up like that. Oh, and I lost some good time for when I was in Otisville. This happened in Otisville. I got lost some good time in the visit room. I had a girl jerk me off in the visit.
And so what
the cop he was a dick, and he was like the main cop. That he's an asshole in the whole jail. Yeah. He's working in the visit room. He don't like me either. He was like, what the the girls in the visit room jerking me off, and he's like, what the he went out there, disgusting, Pete. Get up. And I'm like, man, shut the up. Watch the way you talk to me. He's like, just get up, man. The visit is terminated. And I'm like, all right. And nothing. He takes me to the box, and then the next day, the warden comes in, the captain, the people that runs the jail, they come in there with that wise piece in the cell. Oh, because we caught him, the girl was jerking him off in the visiting room. They're like, well, okay, give him a ticket, but he can't be in the box. Because
right.
I'm Killer Rats, man. I'm the guy that controls the whole.
Right.
They're like, keep that. They used to be like, Pete, you getting out of the captains to be like, getting out, pack your shit up.
But that ticket, even before you were sentenced, followed you into your
it follows
sentence?
you. It follows you. And then you gotta work it out and get your good time back and all that. But when I came home, they gave me some good time back. They gave me some good time, and they gave me 5 months in the halfway house. But they didn't want me in the Bronx because I'm too strong, so they sent me to Brooklyn.
Okay, so what was did you know, what year did you get out? What year did you come home?
2000.
Surely you remember this.
2005.
No, you only did 3 years. That's not, that math doesn't math. 2007?
Yeah, 2007. No, because I got in trouble in 2007. Though it was, I got the wrong. But let me see.
Do you know how much time you did total in the feds after you got sentenced?
With the halfway house, they gave me like almost 5 months some change in the halfway house. So I got like 6 years. It's like, some little shit like that.
So you think you were locked up for like 5.5?
Yeah, something like that. And they gave me halfway time.
Did you do the whole time at Lewisburg?
No, I went in hell. No, thank God. I went from Lewisburg to I went to some other
lowers,
some other medium.
Okay.
And then I wound up going back to Otisville.
Why?
Because that's what I was trying to go at.
Oh, I see.
So I was putting in to go there. And then I had the counselor and them over there. They loved me over there. So they was like, we want you back. Right. And they brought me back to Otisville, and I went home from Otisville.
Okay. So you were on your good behavior in the feds.
I came back. I worked on the mess hall. I used to clean the windows.
Yeah.
I was on some other shit. I was like, yo, man, Lewisburg woke me up.
Right. What woke you up about Lewisburg?
I went to the visit, and I was like, hell no.
What do you mean? Seeing everybody that was never getting out?
I was like this, like, my girls over there, and I'm like this.
Right.
Man, this shit is real. I got no contact with nothing. I'm like, Pete, you done went nuts. Right. I woke up, and then what woke me up, like seeing the brothers that was around me that's never coming home. Right. And then I got into it with my roommate because he had I never knew that a Bible from the devil exists.
What?
Did you know that?
No.
I'm like,
God damn.
this guy had a. I'm up there, it's a bunk, so I'm in the top, he's in the bottom. So I'm there every night reading my Bible, and I realized this. I'm like, what Bible you reading? He said, oh, this is Satan Bible. You didn't know this? And I was like, what? I never knew that. And I took his Bible and I threw it down the tier.
Oh, wow. You got to be careful around with a guy that reads Satan's Bible. He'll kill you, bro.
So mad. He picked up my Bible. I said, don't throw my Bible. He was like, that's what you need to be reading. He said, how you throw my Bible? I said, you don't need that Bible. Are you trying to get out of jail? You got 4 life sentences, 135 years. What are you doing?
Wow.
So every time I used to come and sit down on months and break bread, I used to talk to them about positive.
Yeah.
Yo, go to church, man. You know what I'm saying? Look forward. Like, you can't stay in the darkness. You got to be able to move forward and be able. That shit woke me up. I was like, yo, you got to be able to move different, man. That guys got to come home. You don't plan on coming home. You got 9 left. Did you put an appeal? There's none up. But you want you to do, go to church, man. Go to ask God, Jesus. And then I went to a couple of times at church in Lewisburg, and I was just trying to get out the unit. I was like, this is like, they really got me trapped.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, hell no. And in the fast, all I could do is find myself in a bigger hole.
Yep.
So because they punish you mentally.
Yeah.
So you got to move right. You can't move on impulse. Everything can't be pistol.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It got to be like, oh, let's think different.
Wow. The first time in your life that you had to think before you react.
Yeah.
The first time.
Yeah, that was like, man, I got to get the out of Lewisburg. This is not it.
Yeah.
And then I just did the right thing. I stood there for like a year.
Yeah.
And I was, by the time they got me out of there, I was like almost like I was cool or whatever.
Yeah.
I was already in there, you know, had my lane, playing ball. Just I was into
Making
my working
money.
out. Yeah, I was like, you know, into my whole thing. I was like, man, f it, man, I'm chilling. And then they shipped me back. And then I ended up back in Lewisburg.
Yeah.
And
Back in
I went
Otisville.
home from Lewisburg. I'm sorry, from Otisville.
So you got out with some money. You got out with some clout. You came home to what? They shipped you to Brooklyn.
I went to Brooklyn. I went to Marcy Projects, right across the street from Marcy, where Jay-Z was raised. The projects, there's nothing there. It's the slums, it's the hood. I don't know Brooklyn. I'm like, what the I'm doing? I'm like, I'm lost. I ain't gonna lie. That was my biggest challenge, man. I never told that to nobody, man. But that was my biggest challenge: is being in the fast, coming home from the fast and being in the half house.
Yeah,
that was the biggest challenge.
Why?
For me. It was hard. I never had a job in my life.
Right. You're like damn near 40 years old.
Yeah, I'm like, what the? And now I have to take 2 trains, 2 buses, go to Long Island City. So a job. Lucky that I got one of my friends that's a big plumber that does big work for big companies. So I went up at Dwayne Reed's at the factory with their whole signal where they put everything separate at the at the warehouse. Yeah. So they was doing the sprinklers. You know, and they had the big lifter that takes you up there. And I'm scared of heights. And my day first one, he's in there and he's like, okay, Pete, this is what you got to do. You got to get up there. The fella's gonna show you, climb up there. They're gonna show you the whole road. I'm like Leo. I'm like, yo, I can't, I'm scared of heights, bro. He said, nah, just try to take it easy. You're gonna have to sometime. I know, because he felt that like, you know, I'm Pistol Pete now. So he's like, he's like, I don't wanna, you know, you my big bro, but you know, I need you to, you know, put some work sometime. You know, I need you. And I'm like, all right, I got it, you know. And I started going up there and I'm up there like I'm fuck this moving. I'm like, oh my God. And every day, it was like the coldest winter, man. I read this book, The Coldest Winter. You ever heard of it?
I've heard of it, yeah.
The Coldest Winter, man. It's a dope book. But I'm like, that was like the coldest winter. I'm like, freezing. I'm going to 3 blocks down to take the train, the J train. I'm like, I cannot, I'm like telling myself, am I really going through this?
Right.
Like I'm like, and it's like, I'm going through all this, the boom, and going to work, coming out, and then I was ashamed. I was like, it was new to me, so I was like ashamed because the job that I was doing, I was putting sprinklers, so you be sweating. So I used to wear a do-rag, you know, because the ceiling be pulling out all your hair, you know, so, and you come out dirty. So, and then and now I'm not a worker from Dwayne Reed, so they give you like construction, like a sticker. It says construction and all that, right? I keep that construction, so when I'm on a train, the bitch don't think I'm a bum. Right. I'm in the like, bitch, I'm not a bum. I'm in like, so people started knowing, like, Pistol. Some people be like, Pistol, what's up? Oh, And
They
I'm
recognize you on
in
the train?
And I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, what's up? And then, like, within a month and like that, Joe came, boom, sent DJ Serge.
Yeah.
My brother DJ Serge used to come see me in the feds and all that shit.
Yeah.
You know, he's the DJ for Terror Squad. And he came and dropped, and Joe sent me $20,000.
Wow.
And I came and I bought myself a car, hoopty. And I used to keep the car 2 blocks away, parking, trade. I'm driving when I got my license.
Yeah.
And then when I went to get my license, I got 100,000 tickets from back in the days. Now I'm like, I passed my test. Now I got to get all these tickets, get out the way. I had to get all that out the way, and then go back and take the test again. And then when I went back to take the test, I failed this 2 times. I'm like, and then I really failed the drivers. The guy that was picked me up for my driver's car, I threatened him. I said, my man, if you don't pass this, I don't get my life, I don't know what's gonna happen. And then he put the whole thing on the fucking slip that they give you. And the fellas used to laugh about that for years. Like, Pete, you threatened a guy.
You can't threaten the DMV guy, come on.
And he gave me my license. But,
it worked. Okay.
But on the thing it says, he failed this, he failed that, he almost tried to tell on me. Like, he failed this. I was like, oh. But he gave me my license, and after that, it was a wrap. I went and I got myself a hoopty. I was like, cool, I could do this right now. But when I was in, I had my phone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But how'd you end up going back? You violated?
No, when I came home from the feds, that
was it. You never saw the inside again.
No, yeah, I went back when I caught a case in the club, and I fought for 3 years. Joe bailed me out $50,000 bail, and I went to trial with Dawn Florio.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't end here. It never ends with you. Okay. So what happened? You caught another case. You were in a club.
When I came home from the feds, I fought for 3 years. Some people say that I stabbed them. They tried to take my chain. They snuffed me. Another guy popped up and said that he did it. And when I went to trial, I beat it.
Okay. So you were at a club and a brawl broke out.
Yeah. And
some dude got stabbed. And some dude got stabbed.
Yeah. And they tried to say, oh, Pete did it.
Right.
And then I was on parole, federal parole.
Yeah.
My parole officer called me, and she used to always come see me.
Yeah.
And one day she said, Pete, you gotta come see me. I'm like, oh, I gotta go see you, Miss Roche. Oh, yeah. I'll never forget her name. I was like, yo, will you come? I need to go see you. She said, I'll see you. I was like, all right, let me go. And I went over there, and she was like, oh, Pete, I'll tell you about some guys here. They're here for you. Some homicide, this, that, and other. Something happened, and they saying that I don't know, they want to take you in. And I was like, oh yeah, you should have told me. She was like, yeah, I know, but it's just, I have to go by, I don't run this shit. I was like, I get it. And they just handcuffed me. They was like, we ain't gonna really handcuff you. You good? I was like, nah, I'm good. They was like, we put you in the handcuffs in the front. We ain't go, I was like, all right, cool, put the handcuff. They picked me right from the Fed building. Boom. And they took me to,
your old stomping ground.
Yeah, it took me
MCC.
back. Yeah,
Holy
took me back. No, when they took me back, it was.
Did that dude that got stabbed, did he die?
No.
Okay, so there's no murder.
It was assault on a bunch of guys.
Right.
And the guys picked me out of the lineup and all that.
Oh, they told.
It got serious. They picked me out of the lineup and all. I was like, what the
Wow. These ratted.
These brothers, so they came in, and I went to trial, and I beat it.
Wow. They couldn't.
Shout out to Dawn Florio.
Who's that?
She saved my life. You don't know Dawn Florio?
Uh-huh.
You might want to get her one day on your show.
Is she a lawyer?
She's the top lawyer in New York City.
That would be sick. I would love to get her on.
I can make that happen for you. See how this go? Relationships.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's just networking.
That's my sister.
Oh wow,
that's family.
That's dope.
She interviewed the highest profile cases and beat so many cases in New York and the Bronx. Wow. But she's popping.
So you had to pay her $50,000, or Joe bailed.
I came out on bail on $50,000.
Okay, I see.
Joe put up for you. Joe obviously also paid her for her
services. So Joe is just dealing with you, bro. Like Joe with you. He's put like real money behind saving your ass.
Joe saved my ass so many times. We wake up to lawsuits. Joe wake up and calls me, Pete, I got a lawsuit. They asked me for $75,000 because you broke that NFL player's nose last night. That happened. That happened in Miami.
Really? Why'd you break his nose?
He wanted. I was trying to get to the VIP where Joe and everybody was at, and I was with my kid's mom, and he's like, and I'm trying to get in, and the guy's like, yo, and I'm like, yo, bro, I'm going to see my brother, and he was like my man, And I said, bro, don't do that, bro. Like, and he was like, what you saying? As soon as he said what he said, I caught him. Boom. It was blood all over. And then everybody that was up there jumped on. It was confusing because the
Yeah.
hey, my other guy jumped on him. This, that, boom. The next day, they called Joe. Joe called me, said, thank you, Pete. I'm like, what, Joe? He said, another lawsuit. This one is $75,000 to straighten out his nose. So Joe got a couple times, like a couple lawsuits with me.
Yeah. You guys are just big, intimidating, raucous. I think the word is raucous. You got brolic. You epitomize the South Bronx in many ways. You epitomize New York City and what New York City was. And it's a real pleasure to sit down with you because cats like you really don't exist anymore, especially in the hoods of New York.
Man, I brought Suge Knight to New York, to the Bronx, to my neighborhood.
For real?
How about that?
Wow.
Suge Knight was my man.
Wow.
He used to come to New York and see me. I used to send my guys to hold him down.
Was he a good dude?
Because he was scared of being in New York.
Right.
So I used to be like, no, go make sure he's okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
He's a good guy.
So
he was good.
Yeah. I don't know. The people said he was behind what happened to Pac. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't home for none of that. But
yeah.
I dealt with him and all that, and he was all good. He came out in my documentaries. I had to put pressure on him and corner him, but he did it.
What was it about you specifically?
I've been in death row. I played basketball in death row with a lot of guys.
Yeah.
On death row. That's going to be on.
Oh man, I can't wait. So what was it? What have you done the last 15 years? Like, how did you, there's so much to it, but like you've kind of turned into like a businessman a little bit, but you never had a business mind. Yeah, but you never had a business mind for drugs, which is like the easiest business to wrap your mind around. So now you're in like the media game, which is like the hardest business to break into. Like, tell us how the things with Fat Joe and Terror Squad, how that all evolved as the years went on when you got out of prison.
When I came home, there's a guy named Steve LaBelle, another guy, very interesting guy you could interview. Very interesting guy for you.
Okay.
Good guy for this.
Okay.
He's my manager also. He put me in the game. It wasn't Joe. Steve LaBelle is a Jewish guy from Queens. Jam Master Jay put him on. He put a lot of people. He's Bone Thugs manager for years. He put he put Nipsey on. He found Nipsey. He's been in the game. He's very successful. He's that guy. Very humble.
Yeah.
Loves me. One of my top best friends.
Yeah.
And he had a guy, a middle class guy from middle class in Connecticut, guy named Don Sikorsky. He's a big producer now, does a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
He became big, this kid, right? He tells me, hey, Pete, it's got this guy named Don Sikorsky. He wants to do a documentary on hip-hop police and on the police and how they harass you and how they harass all the guys, the rappers. That's when they was coming down. They used to follow them. They used to harass. They was on it at that time.
Yep.
And he wants like one or two guys. And I was like, okay. So he told me, come down to the office. And I went down to the office, met up with him in the city, down here in the city somewhere, went to the office, and he gave me $100,000. He said, yo, I'm gonna give you $100,000. I was like, coming home, the train, a hoopty. I'm like, what? Let's go. How many guys you need? He said 2. You know how many people I got? Almost the whole industry. Almost the whole
to
industry.
Feature in the documentary.
Yes. And I also produced, and I also involved in the documentary for Jam Master Jay. I'm involved with a bunch of documentaries that came out.
Wow.
I regulated that.
How many people were in that documentary that were getting harassed by the cops? 50? I think 50 was getting followed.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Wow.
Only people I didn't interview was 50 because we had beef with 50, so I didn't interview 50.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. The Terror Squad had beef with 50. I remember that. I remember that.
That's how I started. That right there started off. I started with Dawn. He got to like me. He was like, wow, you strong, you powerful. I brought to the neighborhood. I used to go see everybody. Game. Yo, we got to go to Game. We got to go see Game. Yo, Game, I need you on this. And Suge Knight don't do no documentaries. Suge Knight don't talk too much. Suge was different.
Yeah.
I went to death row and stood there for 3 days. And the last day I got mad and told Suge, what the you doing, man? You gonna do this or what? And I called him and I was like, my man, you gonna do this right now. And he did it.
Wow. Holy
I gave her.
So that money was worth it. That 100 G's was.
Yeah, like, and I was having fun.
Yeah.
I was traveling. I was getting hotels. I was like, bet, let's get it. You know, so it was good. And then from there, I turned KAR into I turned KAR into a label.
Yeah.
And I got signed artists that's from the street, that's nice, from a local artists from Brooklyn, artists from the Bronx, all of them from Harlem. Yeah. And I put them all together and I signed them and I got them a deal through Koch Records and I made their dream come true. They made a record, they made albums, they did records. I have everybody on the album. You can still look it up. It's called Joe Crack, Pistol P Joe Crack presents KAR.
Wow.
I had an official photo shoot at the Range Rover dealership right here on 50th Street. You know where, right?
That is, yep.
Oh, right there. They my peoples. You know, I love nice cars, Range. So they showed me love. Now I ain't give them $1. Pistols, this is your house. I did the photo shoot for the cover there. Nah, it went well. I had a situation with Jordan for 2 years.
Michael Jordan?
Yeah, with Jordan, period. Not Jordan himself, but Jordan with the brand, which for sneakers and this, that. They were sending me sneakers for like almost 2 years. I was giving it to all my artists. They was fly. They lived their dream. We traveled. I got a van. We went Connecticut. We got paid. We did this, with that.
Yeah.
We lived it and them. You know, times go by, people get married, people get older, some people fall off, some people don't want to be rappers no more. People met this girl in Connecticut, fell in love with her, don't want to be a rapper, this guy, you know, whatever. And then I still continue with the company and I did my business through my company. I came out with a DVD called Dead Before Dishonor that you can still find it as well on Dead Before Dishonor, which sold a lot. And I have everybody on there. Almost the whole industry, even Suge. Again, I got him on that. Everybody talking about morals and principles and how people tell, and that's when everything, the whole stop snitching was. So I put that DVD out, and I got a deal. So I got another 100. I got some other bread for that, and we just kept living life. And then I signed these guys, and now I got some money from Alan Grumblack, you know, which is the president of Koch Record, E1. We became good friends. You know, he's an older guy. He taught me a lot, him and Steve Bell. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and people was amazed. You know, Steve LaBelle shows off. He goes everywhere he goes. He starts off by, you ever met Pistol P, the guy that put one guy that put a raise on his to go to the yard because he has beef. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's how he starts his interview, this guy.
It's remarkable.
Steve LaBelle. Yeah, he'd be like, this Peter's an amazing friend that you would even, guys like that you don't see no more.
Yeah. No, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that you could go from the slums, shooting galleries and cutting 19 people that they know about on Rikers Island to dealing
go to Rikers Island and deal with the toughest. I go right now to the toughest jail on Rikers Island. The toughest. They gave me that job and they gave me that ID and they said, we need you, but we need you at the worst jail. Can you handle that? And I said, yes. And that's where I go. I go to the worst jail on Rikers Island.
And the city reached out to you?
Which is a cause, which is the Beacon. Which is the Beacon. I go to CMC, which is the similar to the same unit that I was in before. Yeah. I talked to those guys. They all high profile cases. All these guys been in the newspaper. Yeah. You know, the guy that ran over the guy that ran and took off and went home and changed his clothes. I talked to him. I talked to the two Mexicans that stabbed the other guy in the store for no reason. I talked to all the high end. I talked to them. I teach them how to pray. Some of these guys don't know how to pray. They don't know how to. They in the cell all day. They stuck. I go there. I read for them and outside the cell. I tell them a little couple stories. You know, I go to regular units where people's facing a whole bunch of life sentences in 25 years, this, that, and I see a bunch of people that I also know, you know, and they like, and they go to me, they like, yo, Pete, man, we love you, man. I go to the CEOs when I go there, they shake my hands. Yeah. I got my dog, this is a bully, very expensive bully, charcoal Merle bully, cost a lot of money, it was a gift from Joe and my brother Rich. Yeah. They handed it to my house after it was purchased. I got him since it's going to be 5 this year. I got him approved to go to Rikers Island. I'm the only guy that goes to Rikers Island with his dog as a support dog to all the. Bro, I brought Andre Norman to Rikers Island. I brought Fat Joe to Rikers Island.
What is the goal with the city having you be there? Is it to reduce the violence among these guys that have nothing? They're facing life numbers.
Yeah, cause they didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. When they seen that I go in there and I could relate to everybody, to the toughest guy. It was the guy that was walking around the way I was walking around. The only thing they got this that is like a mask that you put on here because for the guys that like to spit police and spit people, they got this that guy was walking around like Animal, you know, the
Hannibal
movie.
Lecter, yeah.
Yo, was weird. I was like,
crazy.
what do you, I'm acting like I never been to, I'm like, what do you do?
What do you do?
What do you do? And the seals is like, he's cutting everybody and he's spitting everybody. Could I talk to him? They was like, you want to talk to him, Pete? I was like, yeah, I want to talk to him. And I went up to him, I said, my man, first and foremost, take that shit off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I talked to him just like that. He said, what's up? What's up, my G? I'm like, what's up, man? What's going on? What's going through your mind? Yeah, man, I'm just stressed the out, man. I was down with a gang. Now I don't want to be part of that gang now, you know, so I got beef with gang, so I got to stay here. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I got you, bro. You know, you're making the best of it, but don't make it hard on you by spitting the police and all that shit. Now they the ones that feed you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You only hurting yourself and da-da-da. And I talked to them, you know, the Mexican guys, they was like, man, yo no sé cómo leer. Yo no sé cómo hacer una oración a Dios. I don't know how to pray. I'm like, oh, I'm going to teach you how to pray. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. But nah. And the COs that be with me, they be like, wow. And I go to the units, like, I walk through the hallways, like, you know, when I go to Rikers Island, like I'm a police officer, CO. No, I go in there like, I swear, I go in there, I show my ID. What my ID at? I show my ID. I put it up. Yeah. Boom, they're like, okay, boom. I find up. I go in the log. I sign in. Boom, and I walk in. No escort, no nothing.
Yeah.
I go right to the worst unit. Yo, they just finished stabbing somebody over there yesterday. That unit's hot. P, you want to go over there? Yeah, I want to go over there. Wow. And I go in there. What's up with y'all, man? Y'all hurting each other again? Like, what are we doing, bro? You know, and the way it started, I started from going to Rikers Island with another team that used to go in there. They brought me there as a guest. And when I went in there, I created, it was such an impact in the 4 building, the C-74 where the young adolescents is at. And that I started going for 10 weeks. And like a couple of weeks turned into 10 weeks where I told them, listen, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to come here for 10 weeks. 10 weeks, no stabbing, no cutting, no hurting each other. I'm bringing some pieces. I'm bringing pieces in. We're going to break bread. We're going to drink. We're going to eat. We're going to chill. Boom. They approved it. They allowed it with the Deb of Rikers Island from the C7, from the 4 buildings. The Deb is my homegirl. She's my sister. She encouraged me even when I didn't want to get my ID. Even when they turned me down for 2 years, I was like, man, Rikers Island, I don't even need that shit. I'm going to Nashville, Tennessee with real jail. I'm going to I'm going to where they really need me. If they don't want me in Rikers Island, I would like to help my own backyard, but if they're giving me a hard time, the commissioner keep turning my shit down. Nothing I could do. She was like, no, you not. And that shout out to Desiree. I love her for that because she was there. She was like, we ain't gonna let you go back. You gotta get to Rikers Island because I seen what you could do. I went to Rikers Island on my birthday when I usually go to Vegas and go party. I'm in Rikers Island. I'm in there for my birthday. My birthday is August 17th. 130 degrees in that bitch, and I'm in there with 20 pies a piece, breaking bread. We went to 3 units and fed all of them. They was like, P, you a legend, bro. You a legend in New York City. We love you. You're a legend in the police. I go through there. The police shake my hand every time I go to every like it's love. I walk the streets in the Bronx and walk my dog in Southern Boulevard. They love me. The people stop. Yo, son, your pistol. La mujer tato. Come on, man. I take a picture with this. Yo, can't believe you here. Yo, what the f? I went to Walmart. I live in Jersey. I go to Walmart. It's my store. I go to Walmart, Target. They be like, what the pistol? Wow. Yo, you here? Wow, bro. Yo, I love what you do, man. I love your podcast. Dog in the Yard is amazing. You're giving back to these brothers, you know, and that's why, I used to help, so I still help a whole bunch of people and a bunch of artists, and I do a lot of music stuff. But I'm working on myself more. Like I have a lot of things going on for myself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm more into, you know, what I'm doing now.
Through all of this, you have a really unselfish way about you. Even when you were in the streets, you know, like don't harass this guy. I'll take the charges for you. And then sure, you go beat up and stab a bunch of people, but like you always had this like sense of justice, and it's really fascinating. You're a remarkable human being, man. And you're the quintessential New Yorker, man.
You already know.
Talking to Eric Adams, the mayor.
What the It's Pistol Pete. You know that was a big thing about Pistol Pete interviewed the mayor of New York City. I would never thought in the They blocked the whole street.
Yeah.
They had the whole. I was like,
Wow.
I'm nervous.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
all right. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's up, man? He's like, Pistol Pete. And he told me, man, if it's somebody that deserves this, well, a guy that was supposed to be serving life in prison and did all this and did all this and all this and everything I know about you, because he was telling me, I know about you. He said, boy, for me to sit down here and talk to you and you doing what you're doing, it's a blessing. I am with you. I encourage everything you do. I love what you do. You're giving back. You're giving brothers therapy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's exhausting to me because, you know, you go through a lot of stories. I used to do a lot of interviews, and one day, you know, change my clothes, do another interview, change my clothes, you know. So but I, you know, he said, you know, he was like really, it was a great interview. He was like, man, I can't believe it. You know, you did good. People like you not out here. You know, Joe says that the same thing. He did an interview the other day. He was like, don't you know, with Wallow and Gillian, and it was like, don't you, this dude was crazy. He's a different guy. He's different. He's a awesome dude. I've always been an awesome dude. I'm just a strict mom. I just don't play.
What about your parents? What happened to, are your parents still living?
My mother.
Your mother. Well, did they live to get you, see you turn your life around?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. That's good. Even your father?
My father, yes.
Wow. Okay. And then I don't even want to ask about the baby moms. It's not any of my business.
I don't have no problem, no drama.
Good.
I don't have no baby. I'm not on child support. I take care of all my kids. I'm a great dad. I love my kids.
Yeah.
I can't talk about it so I get emotional. But I love my kids. They changed my life.
Yeah. Wow. God damn.
They really changed my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Plug your podcast. That's what we're here to do.
Dog in the Yard. I'm giving back to the brothers out there, the sisters out there that did tons of time in jail. I'm giving them a voice. I'm giving them a platform for them to be able to express how they, because when you're in jail, you don't have a voice. You lose your voice the minute you walk in there. Yeah. You don't say so, you don't run nothing. So I give these brothers that always held that feeling, I get them a chance to get back and sit down, you know, with the king of Rikers Island, with the guy that can relate to them, and we could build on that, and we could build, and we could change the narrative of how things used to be and how things are now. Mm-hmm. And they tell me, oh, I'm working CBS, I work in, you know, I got a good career now, I work this, I got 2 kids, Pete, and it shows it's for the youth, to show these young brothers and sisters out there that you don't have to get in trouble and do all the things that we did in order to become successful and become this person. That you have a better chance now. Things is more advanced. You got, you know, more technology is more advanced for you. You don't have to work in a shooting gallery. Right. You don't even know how. You don't even have to. You will never even know in your life. These kids right here wouldn't even have will know what's a shooting gallery, because those things do not exist anymore.
They don't know how hard you guys actually had it.
We don't live those times no more.
Right.
You feel me? Right. So I try to give them back to the youth, man, so they can be able to see, you know, that jail is not it. And if I have a big influence, a big impact on the decision of 1 or 2, then it's great for me. It's a blessing to me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dog in the Yard.
Every Monday, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Every Monday, strictly on YouTube. You know, I have a bunch of networks hollering at me, try to, you know, get some other situations and stuff like that. And
well, let's plug the dispensary too.
Oh, you know, I got. Well, if you want. I started smoking that weed at 40 years old.
We can tell you don't even remember the years you got out of prison.
I know so many years, so many I've been into. I'd be like, I ain't counting. But I got my own weed. You know, it's called a Yap brand. It's Yap brand. You know, and I got, and I created. I did it based off, you know, jail. To remind people, special houses unit, which is, it breaks down the whole about, you know, what's a special housing unit, you know. They say, choose a special housing unit. People get punished when you go to jail, when you do the wrong thing in jail, and you to get punished, you go to the box. The box is where you there 23 hours a day, and you only come out for 1 hour, you know, and stuff like that. We ain't talk about a bunch of other because I have done this from my book, and I ain't gonna mention about like I've been through my Southport, which is the New York State created his own Alcatraz in 2001, 2002. I was there for the big riot. That's where they knocked my teeth. They me up. The police beat me up. Do
you want to hang around to do a half an hour bonus episode? I wasn't gonna. Generally, for this podcast, we do the main episode. This is gonna go on YouTube and all this, you know, all the platforms. Mm-hmm. But then we also have a channel just for our paid subscribers. It's usually just like a half an hour extra from we didn't talk about. I didn't want to take too much of your time, but if you want to.
Not really.
Okay. You got to run?
I really got to go. I mean, I could do a little bit if you want me to do a little bit.
Let's just do like a half an hour so you could tell us about that story, tease the book. And also we could talk more about the weed and tell people where to go. Plug the dispensary. Where can people, if people live in New York or in New York, go up to Harlem? Safe now. Go up to Harlem.
Well,
and,
this is.
Don't go up there at night, but go up to Harlem.
At this point right now, this is all promotional use only right now.
Okay.
This not in those dispensary yet.
I see.
It's going to be in LA first.
I see.
We're going to go to dispensaries in LA first.
Okay.
This was where it all started from.
I see.
So it's going to be in LA, and it's it's a Yap brand. It's a brand, and I'm just, everybody's doing it. I started smoking at 40 years old, and ever since I started smoking, I've been a nicer person.
Well, okay, but tell them where the dispensary is in New York, at least. Tell them where the dispensary is.
I know about one dispensary, Destiny. That's the dispensary, which is my brother's. Is Fellas Douglas. It's my brother Rich Player, which is Fat Joe's manager.
Yep.
My longtime friend. Only one of the other few guys that used to come see me in the fest.
Yeah.
It's one of my best. People think he's my brother because he's my brother. He's my blood.
Yeah.
He's he opened up a dispensary.
It's called Destiny.
Yeah, that's it. It's in Fellas Douglas in Harlem.
Yeah, so we'll link that. We'll link that down below. So go, and Fat Joe's involved with it. It's real fly. They just opened it the other day.
Everybody's there. Everybody coming through support. Yeah. I mean, we just giving back to the community. I'm also working on some other projects, trying to open up like barbershop, Terror Squad barbershop in New York and the Bronx.
That'd be fire.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that to get back with the kids, the new barbers and all that, give them jobs.
Yeah.
The thing is the idea here is to get back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they won't go out there and run around crazy. If I can stop a few of them from doing that and give them jobs and stuff like that, then that's what it is. So I'm working on doing super legendary shit, in the Bronx and South Bronx. I want to get everybody's going to be involved. The mayor, everybody, the grand opening is going to be legendary. Doing big things, man. Statement and doing it the right way. So when they look at me, they be like, wow, he did that, but look what he's doing now.
Yeah.
And the kids, a lot of kids come up to me, they admire, they be like, Pete, wow, man, you used to be wild. Can we take a picture? We love you, man. You're a gangster. You're a true gangster. And then on my shirts that I have, I got these shirts that I go to Rikers Island with. Obviously it says dog in the yard. Yeah. And then in the back of it says gangsters change too.
Wow. That's fire.
And they be like, yo, Pistol, gangsters change too. I said, that's right, man. It's about taking care of your kids, your family. It's about doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? They be like, yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? And they be, having something to think about,
Pistol Pete, good times, man. Thank you for coming through and blessing us. We'll do a quick little bonus episode, and then you'll get out of here. But we'll link to all his social media. Check out Dog in the Yard. Go subscribe to it right now. If you're in New York, go up to Harlem. We're going to link to Destiny, the dispensary. Mm-hmm. And just look out for him, man. He's you're going to do great things. You already are.
We're doing great things. We're not going nowhere. The main thing is to stay healthy, and that's it.
That's it.
You got to stay healthy.
That's it.
Eat well, take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Do the right thing. And that's what matters, man. You're going to be blessed.
Love,
man. Appreciate you.
Pistola Pedro.
Appreciate y'all, man. Bless. The connect.
That's it, baby.